We're live, guys.
All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me.
I'm about to go Goku. Leave on my head is red like old news. Yeah, trying to get the green like it's Whole Foods. Couldn't take my style and now you so blue. Yeah, we don't even know you. Your hometown, we don't need go to. Trying to get it worldwide, global. Looking like I can show you. Be killing this is go-to. Skrilla, the whole man killer. Life so free, can't no man kill 'em. Came from the bottom, was a broke man girl. Still move like 10 man with no found rhythm. Boom, pardon me, I get hectic. Boom, I survive through the wreckage. You should go look for the exit. New sheriff in town, I get a little reckless. Missed the memo, go check the message. I ain't then came back for seconds. I hate seeing your fake little necklace. Lifestyle decrepit, I should probably expect this. Too much game for your league. I'm Hussein with Steve, on Hussein on Weeds. Legendary, I'm everything you aim to be. I'm insane and free, you can't tame the beast.
Feeling me, any me.
And hello and welcome to the ArchieLuxury live stream channel. Today, guys, you are with the Pontiff. Bit of a bad hair day. Didn't seem to want to stay in place. But, guys, we are live on air. Guys, a bit of genius marketing. We are now streaming for 3 hours a day. 3 hours. And it's going pretty well there. I gotta tell you, I'm just getting a little sign ready. I'm getting a little sign ready. I had a bit of a sponsor come in overnight, and I gotta tell you, it's hey, I'm always happy to get the sponsors. You know, the sponsors, we like to have the sponsors. We want to have them. We want to get the sponsors because they keep the lights on. They keep the lights on because without sponsorship, it's very hard to survive. That's exactly right, guys. It is very hard to survive. So I do appreciate sponsors. I'm just putting a new sponsor up just as we speak. Guys, I love the story. See, I don't really like showboating. I'll just show you our new sponsor on the refrigerator. He just sent me 150 US smackaroonies. So we'll be putting that back. We'll put it on the refrigerator there. We'll give him a nice spot there. Guys, I wanted to talk to you about this. It's the story. I like the story. I love my material goods. By the way, guys, if you want to see some really wacky shit, check out ArchieLuxury's. Yeah, there we go. It's beautiful. Check out ArchieLuxury's Instagram page. That's correct, guys. ArchieLuxury's Instagram page, ArchieLuxury88. He's gone a bit crazy on the material goods. You know, I like to push the envelope there. And we have Tan Zeal, the zeal with the bestest, the mostest, the best zeal in the house. The zeal has posted a comment. Guys, you can super chat now. Tan Zeal has said, $5. AC3, I think you have a typo on your sponsorship paper. It's supposed to be timshit.com. Yes. Well, look, you know what? I gotta tell you guys, I'm a professional method actor. And I've had these amateurs, and I've been running the school. And I've got to tell you guys, I got to tell you, now what we've done is we have got special method acting classes. And this is exactly what we have done there. We have got special method acting classes. And this is the way it goes. This is method acting. When the cast and crew best time to do exactly do itself. That's right, guys. You gotta get it done. You gotta get it done. Method acting. It's a hard thing. You know, De Niro, Brando. See, some actors don't like the method acting. Some of them do. It's De Niro, Brando. You know, there's DiCaprio. My internet is crap. Shit, what's wrong, man? What's he? He's got the internet. Okay, guys, let's get Church of Plastic. What's he saying here? I'm watching the show and cleaning the kitchen. You keep freezing. Tell the kids to go to go get off the internet. It could be a good point. Okie dokie. Okay, so we'll just see how it goes here. That could be his internet that's freezing. I don't think it's mine. Okay, let's have a look here. Let's get some panel open. We'll open the crew there. We had a really interesting guy with Jamie on yesterday. Tanzeel, $5. AC3 enjoying the 3861 Speedy these days, but the paddock itch needs to be scratched once the Lambo is away for winter. Which perpetual calendar? Wowzers. I gotta tell you guys, that is a very, very good question. You know what I reckon? Seriously, I reckon one of the nicest paddock calendar watches is the 5396, because that is actually very reminiscent of the original automatic perpetual calendar, the 3448. And I reckon that's what I'd be going for. 5396, just an absolute cracker jacker of a watch. That's what I'd be doing. The 53, it's an annual calendar. That's correct, because you don't need a perpetual. Perpetual is kind of crazy. It's crazy money. They're crazy money. We got Plastic on. Jesus, the show's going downhill, guys. Hello, Plastic. How are you?
Hey, mate, I won't stay too long. I've got a bit of work to do around the house today, but good show so far.
Yeah, hey, man, it's great to have your support there. I got to tell you, I got a new sponsor, TimWright.com. TimWright.com. He has
That's
come
excellent,
through.
Mate. I told you to come back.
Yeah, $150. I put him on the fridge again. It's looking a little bit small. I want to make a bigger one for him, I think. Where is it going? I'm going to do a bigger one for him, you know. I'll do a bigger one.
Does thou pontiff still want him to be thine subject of a certain sermon?
Look, I think he'd enjoy it because it's publicity. See, Tim Wright's the original publicist, and I think he'll get a huge rise out of it. Yeah, I reckon go ahead because Tim would love it.
Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, because he'd love it, because he gets upset that he's not the center of attention. He wants to be the center of attention.
Look, if we keep sending the money through,
keep sending the money, keep doing it, man.
We'll write a sermon every day for him.
Exactly. Just quick shout out, Tanzeel, $5, Blue Shirt Buddha in the house. Yes, Blue Shirt, I love you, man. You are a good man. I got to tell you, enjoying the 3861 Speedy these days. Look, I tell you honestly, Patek, I got to be totally honest with you. Patek Philippe, man, that is the way to go. Honestly, that is a amazing brand of wrist watch to have there. Let's enter the site and let's go and have a look here. I'm just going to have a look. Plastic, how have you been, man? Are you okay? Are you happy in your life? Is your life fulfilled?
Life's great, mate. Just got to clean this bloody house, you know. You know what it gets like after a weekend. And so much work to do around the place. Try and let the wife have a nice sleep in. Yeah, I mean, you know what
Hey
it's
man,
like, mate.
you are a really good guy. You're a really good guy. Here we go. Just having a look here. I tell you what I really love here is the 5327. I think I've actually seen this in real life. My friend GJ in Singapore has this watch. It is absolutely amazing watch. That's a beautiful watch. Beautiful watch. Absolutely beautiful watch. It's gorgeous. You know, that's
Mate.
a gorgeous watch there. And the problem is, it's not short on pricing. The pricing is about $100,000 Aussie. $100,000. I love it. The one that what's his name liked was the syringe hands. The only problem with the syringe hands one, okay, now this is if you're a real Patek purist, it uses the 324 movement, which
When you say what's his name, you mean that child who used to come on occasionally?
we're talking about Marco, my good friend Marco, the beautiful young man.
Bobby Google, they call him now. Bobby Google.
The reality is the 5327's got the caliber 240. The 240 movement is actually been the perpetual calendar automatic movement of choice. So I got to tell you, Tan, even though the syringe hands one is a tempting case, I think you'd want to go for this one. That's my honest advice there. So that's the go there. Tan Zeal, we love the Zeal. The Zeal is good. I got to tell you guys, it's. I got to say, Plastic. What's happening? Let's talk watches with you. What is going on with your world of whist watches? What are you buying? You have got the pre-ceramic bluesy. You have
I
got
certainly
the
do.
40
I certainly
mil
do.
ceramic bluesy steel date. You've got the black GMT. You've got the steel Daytona in-house movement pre-ceramic Daytona steel black dial. You have got the Pepsi. You got the Cermet. You got the Datejust 41 with diamond dial.
Yeah.
That's seven
Datejust
pieces.
2. Datejust 2.
Datejust. It's a Datejust 2 or it's a Datejust 41?
No, Datejust 2.
Datejust 2. And what's the? You got 8 or 7? How many?
Got 8.
What's the other piece you got?
I've got the Batman. The Batman on the Jubilee.
Batman. Batgirl, you mean? That's not a Batman. The Batman is on the oyster. The Batgirl.
Wow.
Come on, I had the previous guy who was on the show. He was paranoid about that.
Oh, mate, look, Batman on a Jubilee. How's that?
A Batman on a Jubilee. Is okay, Dokie. Yes, indeed. There. Blue Shirt Buddha in the house. Yes, Blue Shirt Buddha. He's a great guy, fantastic guy. And the next super chat is bright blue comment, $5. Crazy. I went to the AP boutique in New York City today. They had literally 0 watches, not 0 Royal Oaks, not 0 men's watches, 0 watches. Oh my God, that's really. Even that, they got that dud, the code 1159. They had none of those as well. My God, what the hell is going on? They'll have to bring out the Audemars. What's the Audemars? The Jules Audemars. That's their dress watch. The Jules Audemars, because nobody wants that. Plastic, what can I say to you, man? What are you buying? You going to buy anything besides Rolex? You got to get into something else. What else are you getting into?
No, the only thing that I would be tempted would be a Z Blue. After trying yours on, I'd be tempted on a Z Blue.
Yes, indeed. There, I'm wearing my Reverso today. Something different. The Reverso Grand Date. I love my Reverso. Tan Zeal, $5. Rich Buddy texted me looking for a Patek Ellipse. It wasn't my cup of tea, but what are your thoughts? 70 chic or toxic sludge? I got to tell you, I think my good friend John Reardon, the guy who wrote Patek Philippe in America, he is a huge Ellipse fan. In fact, his company Motive, he sent me a hat, he sent me a cap, and also a keychain, okay, which is in the Ellipse. It's in the Patek Ellipse. Guys, he loves the Ellipse. I I like it. It's funky. It's 70s. I love 70s. Man, I'm an orange man. Orange. I love the 70s. I think it's special. I don't think you want it as your only. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a great watch. Patek is cool. Patek and Pussy. That is the answer. It is a perfect, gorgeous watch. And you know what? It's gorgeous. I love now the Ellipse. Let's bring that baby up on the screen there because some people want to see what it looks like. The Ellipse, it was invented in the late 60s. 1969, I think it came out. And it's got this, it's supposed to have perfect proportions. It uses the golden ratio proportions. That's what it's supposed to be. This is my favorite. I like this rose gold one here. I love the rose gold with the black dial, the 5738R. And
there's a great comment there. Plastic and Patek. Yeah, listen, I'm probably not ever going to buy a Patek. The only one I do.
Well,
like
who knows if that crypto shit you buy, the crypto crap with the crypto. By the way, Plastic is a crypto millionaire.
Oh,
are you a millionaire or half a millionaire? What are you, Plastic?
I'd go half a, but the dojis are on the way up again, mate. The dojis are going up.
And what did you buy? Someone said to me, "What did you buy Doji for?" They were getting really jealous, and I was talking to them about you.
Oh God, about $1,500 for a million Doge back in 2014.
15. So, how much was one Doge?
Oh, 0003 or 00.
Because it was 70 cents. 70 cents a Dodge. That's what he said to me. He goes, "Oh, they went up to 70 cents a Dodge per coin." I said, "I think he bought a 0.00000000." That's what he paid for them.
Yeah. You sell a few, keep a few. You know, you don't sell them all at once. I mean, it's just
Here
fun.
we go.
It's a fun hobby.
$50. Tanzil in the house. Arr! The bear is here. Roar. The bear is here. Thank you so much. Tell me this. What's going on, guys? I was trying to get somebody, I tell you, just between you and me, I'm not nasty. Can I just tell you something honestly? Let's just be honest. I like to be honest, okay?
Well, you are very authentic and honest.
Let's be honest there. I'm a bit disappointed with Birminghard. Where's Captain America when you need him?
Oh, he's doing what other members have done in the past.
What about your mate there, JJ? I thought JJ would come on my show, man.
Well, you even
I desperately need. We've had a firing. We've had 2 firings. I want the other guys to stand in solidarity. Where's ABC? Where's JJ? Where these guys? They kind of run. Hey, Kelly, you want to come on? Kelly's in the audience there on her time. Kelly, come on now. This is your chance, just me and you, to talk watches. We can plug your Instagram and your YouTube channel. We can talk.
I'll drop off.
No, but you hang on until Kelly comes on. Kelly, come on, man. I'm just saying, stay on because I don't understand these friends. They're
Mr. GMT's in the house.
Mr. GMT. I love him. You know what? He came on yesterday. He's such a cool guy.
He is.
I made a phone call to him. I said, "Mr. GMT, I need your help. I'm sinking like a I'm sinking fast." He came on. And then I got Jamie on. He jumped off. Man, he's a bloody helper. This guy here is an Aussie. He helped me out.
Jamie,
you know what? I got some. You know what? I got to tell you, Plastic. One thing about you, you might be a bit of a. I got to be honest with you. You're not the brightest spark, okay, Plastic?
Certainly not.
Like, I mean, the thing that pisses everybody off is you made $500,000, but you're as dumb as Okay, Plastic. I got Kelly on. Hello, Kelly. How are you?
Hello, Archie. Good. How are you?
Where are you going today? What are you doing?
Well, we just got done with dinner. It's my 7th wedding anniversary, and I got to celebrate not killing my husband.
Congratulations, Kelly. Well done.
Thank you.
My God, she's beautiful. Kelly is gorgeous. What car are you in there? Nice, reliable Japanese car?
Yeah,
He said some shit about my car was even right now.
It's not plastic at all. Nothing.
No, what is this car?
This is a W.
A what? Oh, that's okay. They're okay to about 100,000 miles. Then the plastic parts start breaking.
What are you doing?
Hey, man, I am doing the stream. I've got some great crew. ABC, how are you?
ABC in the house. How are you, man?
ABC, man. How are you? Kelly, I got to tell you, you look absolutely divine. I got to tell you this. Now, please don't let your husband think I'm flirting with you. What happened in that interview? What the hell happened? What did you say?
I don't know. I had fun. We're going to do it again, right?
We had a great time. I tell you what, we got to do some more interviews. We got to do more watch talk. You know this?
We can talk about watches, Archie. Huh? Did you watch my video?
Not yet, because I'm streaming 3 hours a day now. So
Kelly Pontiff won't watch anyone else's videos unless you send it to him the link and tell him what to watch.
No, she did. She sent it to me on Instagram this morning. She did send it to me, and I just slept in a bit, and I had to get up there. Mr. GMT, hi boys, indeed, he is fantastic. Mr. GMT he's a good supporter, and I got to tell you who else is a good supporter is ABC. ABC, I love you. I love you. You know that?
How's it going on? Plastic.
There you go, mate.
I love you. I love you. Who else we got here? Who else? Hello, who's there? Is that Tanzil?
Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. I am your host, not Adricos, but I am the dog trainer. Just coming on real quick to just say, hey, Arch, hope everything is good. Love you, and I know you miss me. That's all. Just wanted to say, hey.
Hey, that's okay. At least I did give you some airtime, unlike when I was on your channel where you just made fun of me and made me the butt of your jokes and completely booted me off and humiliated me.
Well, now it's your turn. You can do that to me.
I just say, okay, thank you for coming on and could you any messages for anybody?
Yeah, just you support your pontiff. He's the old original. He's the OG.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I love you too. Look at that. That's a nice little message from. I'm just pressing the button here because I'm just so many shits going on in the studio here. I thought that was somebody else, but that's okay. That's okay. Kelly, I got to tell you, you got a huge success in this industry. You know that? Your YouTube channel, your Instagram is amazing. The only thing I got to say to you is you got to do more vids.
I know.
One video a day. One 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 a day. That's what you got to do.
One a day. I got it.
But you've got great talent. I tell you honestly, you love your watches. You got to have passion. If you don't love your watches, it's pointless doing it. Great to see you really love your watches. You got a nice husband. He's a great guy. I'd get him involved. Why don't you start interviewing him? He seems like a really nice dude.
Can I interview you?
I'm good.
He doesn't want to be interviewed.
He seems really nice. He seems really nice. You got a nice. You're actually the attractive couple. You know, when you have a barbecue, you have the attractive couple. That's what you guys are, the attractive couple.
A good, wholesome Rolex family.
Yeah, they are. They got some beautiful watches. And I got to tell you, you got a great future. I'd like to do more stuff with you guys. Tanzil, $5. Shout out to NV Scotsman and Der Stiefel, also OG supporters. The true fans are here, not the fly-by-nighters. Ooh, that's a bit... Yep, that's okay. That's okay. Well, ABC's here. He's an OG. ABC's OG. OG status there, that's for sure. Kelly, I'd like to do more stuff with you.
You too, Archie.
Yeah, I think you've got to, you should do cars and watch talk. ABC, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I've got a bit of news for you.
Yes, tell me the news.
You may not be completely happy with me, but
I'd always be happy with you.
I flipped the 42mm Explorer.
Oh, you said you were keeping it for your son.
He liked this instead. Is this?
Oh, what is it? It's a sub-date.
Yeah, 16610. Not. Yeah.
Is it on a bracelet, I hope, or no bracelet?
It has got the bracelet. I want to try the Everest strap. I have the bracelet, original.
So you've got a GMT and you got the 16610 now, is that right?
Yeah, both pre-ceramic.
Are they both holes case?
Yeah, a whole case, solid end links.
Ooh, the sweet spot.
The Austin Daniels sweet spot, yeah.
Somebody said,
good husband would do an interview to help the wife.
Hey, what was that, Kelly?
Somebody in the comments said a good husband would do an interview with me to help his wife. And I was simply educating Peter that he should help his wife.
If I had a wife as gorgeous as you, I'd do anything. He's a very lucky man.
Hey, on that note, guys, I've got things to do. I'll catch you later.
See you later, Plastic. I love
See
you.
ABC. See you,
I
Kelly.
love you. Yeah, I got to tell you, my wife is actually very shy on doing interviews as well. She doesn't really like it. She doesn't really like fame is a double-edged sword. I can understand it. But I got to tell you, seriously, it's good to have you. Look, this is a hard business, and I want to try and help you as much as I can. If we can do something together, man, I'm happy to do it there. I'm just in shock. ABC got rid of the 42mm Explorer. I don't know if I like that, because it had the new bracelet. Surely, how do you feel about that new garbagey clasp?
It reminds me of a time when Rolex wasn't worn by tossers.
Here we go there, just very quickly there. Tan Zeal, $5 again. AC3, just wanted to point out, Jin, Hisham, and I also did 6+ months of streams. Never monetized, never asked for a watch, never asked for a kickback. Yes, the Tan, the Jin. I remember Jin. What happened to Jin? He's in an airport lounge. He's stuck in a perpetual business class lounge somewhere, just ordering free drinks and food, I think, there. I think that's what's happened to Jin. But I got to tell you, yes, Tan, they were the good old days, Tan. They look, the show is what it is. The show is what it is. The show's had some ups and downs, and yeah, it's had Kelly, does your husband write love letters to you?
All the time.
He does.
He gave me a really nice card today for our anniversary.
Wow, that's good.
Very
That's
sweet.
good. I'm writing a book, actually. I'm publishing 3,000 love letters I've given my wife. I'm going to be...
So romantic.
Yeah, so people can steal the ideas for their own life, you know?
I like that.
I think I'm doing that. ABC, do you write love letters for Mrs. ABC?
No.
It's the British stiff upper lip.
I think so. Yeah.
They just can't get in touch of their feelings, can they?
I need to become a bit more. I need to become a bit more new age.
Yeah, I just think, you know, if you're going to, you've only got one life. Why be shy and embarrassed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why be shy and embarrassed? It's only one life. We've got Bear Clooney. Laugh out loud. Thank you, Bear. We got the bear in the house. I'd love to get the bear on one day. You know that? I would really love to get the bear on the channel. That would be
great.
He's very shy.
Arch, do the bear growl. Come on.
Arr, arr. I'd love to get the bear on. ABC, I don't know what to say. So how was the money? Tell me what happened with the money with the sub.
I got a few £100 back. So I got the 16610 and pocketed a few hundred. So happy days. And I think that's going to be more of a better, I don't want to say the word investment, but I think it's a longer serving sub, which makes it more iconic, as somebody used to say.
Oh, I see. I'm just putting a sponsor on my drink bottle.
There you go.
There we go. We've got some videos coming out there. So I got to tell you guys, I don't like to sell out for money, you know, but it's just how the world works. I don't know, ABC,
Yeah.
You got the. What made you decide to pull the trigger? Why wasn't the Explorer working for you? What was wrong with it?
It looked a bit cartoony for me. The hand really big. The side profile was really big. Looked a little bit like a Black Bay 41. A little bit like a hockey puck from certain angles. I mean, it was a good watch. I'm not going to say it was a crap watch. It's actually a very good watch. I like the matte dial. I like the new bracelet and things like that. And the orange hand, shout back to the 1655. So, yeah, maybe we'll see for another time. And it is generally, sub will always be more sought after than the Explorer 2, whether it's new or old.
And I suppose you've got a GMT, so this is like it's something else, and it's the same genre.
Actually, you know what? I always used to say, what's the point of having a sub when you've got a GMT? You're never going to go diving. But the build quality is actually just that bit more solid.
Yeah.
And I can see the attraction of it now because it is cleaner. It is, not having that red hand just makes it all the more just classical. I love it.
Tanzil, $5. AC3, my friend Bear and I have to point out that you're wrong about Cartier. The ArchieLuxury of old was obsessed with Panthers. AC3 used to love Cartier. You know what? I still love Cartier. Let me show you something here. I'm just going to jump. I was busy this morning. I was posting on my Instagram. Instagram, that's kind of the young kids. Kelly's a huge Instagram person herself. I'm just going to show you this here. This is very quickly here, we got Zorro Pal, Russian rubles. He's always a good guy. There's Jero Pal, 40 rubles. Archie, we love you. I love you too, man. I love you. We need Bear live. I totally get it, man. I totally get it.
Can you comment if audio's okay now in the chat? Because some people have been saying that my audio is a bit faint. I've just plugged one of these Bluetooth headsets in.
Okay, I can hear you okay now. I'm just going to share the screen. I'm just going to show you. This is my Instagram. Da-da-da-da. Look at this. There's some Cartier. That's my wife's Banois. The Banois. The Banois itself there. That's the Cartier. The boxes. Cartier boxes is absolutely amazing. See, look at this. You can give a card with the Eiffel Tower, the French theme. This is Cartier. Look, look at this, my Cartier clock. I love a bit of Cartier. And have a look at this garden here. This is French. Bit of Louis Vuitton in the garden for just to have a bit of a bit of a picnic in the sun there. So check it out, ArchieLuxury on Instagram. This is I've got a huge Cartier fan. Huge Cartier. Just quickly there, we got NV Scotsman, $8. All roads lead to the Pontiff. Goldberg and others, miss you, man. Loving the twists and turns this week. Shout out to Sucker Horn. Let me tell you, I'll tell you another great Instagram account. This is a channel that I've been following. There's 2 channels, and it's Kelly, on her own time. On her own time. This is actually a really cool Instagram channel.
Thanks,
I got to tell you, that's Kelly. Kelly is absolutely gorgeous. She loves her watches. I love the colors here, the vibrancy. The colors are amazing.
That's the red one.
I got to tell you, you got some great. I love it. Kelly, I really like your laid back. You got this southern charm. I think you've got a really nice charm to you. So I would highly recommend. So there's the ArchieLuxury 88. Kelly's channel is called On Her Own Time. And just one more channel is Fetish.
I love Fetish Diva.
Fetish Diva. This is one of my favorite channels. She's into rubber. She likes the rubber and latex. I got to tell you, man, she is. I got to tell you, she's a 50-year-old Japanese woman. I think she's absolutely beautiful. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's just
50. Are you serious?
Yeah, no, she's absolutely. I like her because she's a real woman. That's what I like, is real women. I don't want perfect 22-year-old. I like somebody who is, you know, how do I put it? Look at this. Look, she likes a bit of rubber. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with a bit of rubber? Is that bad?
Rubber.
Latex. She likes rubber. You know,
rubber.
She's very, very. This is some of her friends. They came over for a. I'm not quite. She's got rabbit ears too. Look at this, rubber ears there. Look at that. And I mean, there's some of her friends here, right? I don't understand these gas masks. They're very World War II retro. Look at this, man. What would you do if your wife came into the bedroom like that? She's got the English flag on her cell phone. Gorgeous. I think she's absolutely. I think she's beautiful. She's just a beautiful, beautiful woman. Look at this. This is just class. Okay. Look at this. That is class. Can I please have a class from you, ABC?
Pure class.
Look at that. You understand. That's just pure class there. That's one of my favorite channels, Fetish Diva. I've been in love with her. I just like her, you know. She's just so cool there.
People want watch talk now.
Watch talk. Okay, here we go. Tanzil, $5. Callie, I travel to RTP often for work. Best restaurant in Raleigh, Okuyu, or Pool's Diner?
Pool's Diner is actually really good. I like it. They've got some good stuff. I'll have to put some recommendations in the chat. But we just got to where we're going, so I'm going to pop off.
Okay, Kelly, it's been an honor to have you on here. Thank you so much. You have a great day with your husband. And please come and do more watch videos. I love your watch content. Thank you so much. You're a great member of the community. The community loves you, Kelly.
Thank you. I love the
No worries. Jay Wright, £2. Being turned on watching AC3 WTF.
Indeed.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, it's actually great to have you here, have a chat with you. ABC, I love you.
It's been a while. Yeah, right back at
I got to be honest with you. The problem when I got so many people on the panel, you're just a real quiet guy who sits there. We can't really have in-depth conversations.
That's true. That is true, yeah.
You know, I honestly really like it when you come on with me here. We can just talk watches. Like, I remember everything about you. You told me your dad was in the business. Your dad, you really have that connection with your father. You had the 8171, which was the Rolex moon phase. You told me how you sold that. You told me how you had you've got the pre-ceramic GMT. You've really had a quest. You're just a decent sort of dude. You're just a nice guy. Pure class. That's the only thing I could say about you. Pure class.
In terms of Rolex, I think that's all the watch I need. Sub and a GMT. And like I said, I never saw the appeal of the sub until I actually wore it on my wrist, and it is just fantastic.
Speaking of which, I can't stand this anymore. Can I please? I've been doing the show for 40 minutes. Can I please take this bloody tie off?
Take the noose off your neck.
That is so uncomfortable. I don't know. What the hell ties, man? Oh my God. I haven't worn a tie in years.
Actually,
I've got to change wristwatches.
Central London. Yeah,
excuse me.
Central London.
I have to change this. I'm taking my reverso off. Can I please get my sub? I got to have my sub on if you've got a sub, okay?
You can. Cool.
Just hang on there.
So yeah, when Arch puts the headphones on, I'll just talk about how ties are really passé. They're not really a thing anymore. Maybe for a job interview, but even then, I think that's going to phase out soon. Maybe weddings, special occasions like funerals. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was just saying, Arch, that around London, central London, you don't really see ties. You may see
No.
suits with no ties, but that's about it. Maybe for special occasions, going to court. There you go.
Yeah.
Or weddings, funerals.
Yeah. No. Weddings, funerals. That's exactly it. There. I understand. Just very quickly, Jay Wright. Thank you, Jay Wright, for your support on the channel here. We've now got G Sprout 452 $10. Kelly, please be careful. Being here will result in you having to stand in a room full of strangers with a doll explaining where the bad person touched you.
Oh, you know, there's some real nasty names of channels coming up in the chat when she was around, which was, I think it's classless, really.
I wasn't even reading the comments, but that's pretty nasty. You know what? It's hard being a woman. She's a girl in this man's type of hobby. She's beautiful. She's vivacious. Just leave the poor bloody girl alone. If you don't have anything to say, just she's. I gotta hand it to her. She's a lovely lady. I mean, be honest with you, she's bloody gorgeous, isn't she? I'm not trying to steal anyone's wife, but she's absolutely gorgeous.
Why can't people just be decent? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Why can't people just be gentlemen? That seems to be a dying breed.
Blue Shirt Buddha, $2. ABC is one of the best. Cheers, my friend.
Blue Shirt, my man. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Actually, Blue Shirt, I got to tell you, I've got a lot more time. Like, people think I'm interested in flexing and big, expensive watches.
Never.
What I really like is the story. The story. The story to it. And I've got to tell you, years ago, one of my favorite subs was actually a 16610, and I bought it from the Trading Post. And the story was, here we go, Timepiece Fund, $2. How to avoid buying iconic watches you never wear. You've got to make yourself wear them. I must admit, I do the same thing. I don't wear them. I try and savor them. You know what? I'm nearly 50. How many years do you think I got left, sunshine? You know what?
Oh, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to wear any of these watches on public transport, right? Especially in Britain, yeah.
I want to. So let me ask you this. Let me just say this to you.
I wear this. This is my out and about watch.
Tell me this, ABC. Paul Thorpe made a few videos how dangerous London is.
Yeah.
Is this true?
I think it is, and I think it's better to be safe than sorry, because even
like,
Adrian.
What do people target your watch?
It's happened to a few people. Even when the European Championship finals went on around Wembley, Lando Norris, a Formula One driver, had his Richard Mille taken off him. It's just getting worse. It really is.
But how about an average guy like...
These thieves are getting a better eye as to what you've got. Their eye is getting better and better.
Well, Randall K, $8. Arch, can you wish my friend Ash Z a happy birthday and congratulations on his Amiga Aquaterra? Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Ash Z. Happy birthday. Congratulations on the Aquaterra. I got to tell you, I actually like the Aquaterra. It's kind of like Omega's answer to the Datejust.
There's a new one coming out, isn't there? The Cordroid dial with blue hands. The white dial one.
I got to tell you, I think I know what you mean, but just the standard Aquaterra, I think it's actually just a nice, honest, usable watch. That's what it is. It's a nice, honest, usable sort of watch. I got no problems with that.
The answer to the Explorer, would you not say that?
I thought the Railmaster was their answer to the Explorer.
Yeah, Railmaster and Globemaster are a bit unknown. People don't really know.
The Globemaster, I think, was not the success Omega thought it would be. Because remember, they introduced that new certification.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of didn't really pull off. They didn't pull it off. $5. Arch, I'm currently wearing a 1980 Seiko 6309-7049 diver on grey NATO. Does this make me a loser? I got to tell you something. Watches don't make you a winner or loser. It's you as the person. There are many losers who wear Nautiluses or Aquanauts or Pateks. It doesn't make you... It's an innate object. It's an innate object which is an innate object. Now, a lot of cool people wear Rolex or Patek or Seiko, but it doesn't make you cool. It doesn't. It's an innate object. Has no.
I agree.
Has no bearing on it. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Church of Plastic, $2. Kelly is lovely. A perfect replacement for snakes. He's got a few axes to grind plastic, but he's got a good heart. He always cares for me. That's all I can tell you. I got to tell you there, ABC, I actually, I've got 3 Rolexes. Did I tell you I'm not getting the Pepsi anymore?
Well, is that fully dead in the water, or is it just
okay, I don't want to say anything. No one's watching, so I'll tell you the ins and outs. But basically, MJT, he had a business he was running overseas. He's decided because of family and that he doesn't want to go back there. He's sort of got out of that business. So it's very unlikely he'll have access to that stock again. Okay. But you know what? You think about it. You know what? In one way there, I'm kind of relieved. I got a sub. I'm wearing my sub. I got an Explorer 2 Polar, the 42. The comic book one, and I got a Milgauss. You know what? How many Rolexes do you really want?
Well, you've got your wind and wear, you've got your GMT functionality on multiple time zones, and you've got your diver, an iconic diver.
And I got a Speedmaster as my chronograph.
Yep. I think.
How many do you want?
I was thinking of getting a Speedy, actually. That's why I was asking about this 861 versus 1861.
Yeah,
I've seen one that seems
if I were you, you know what I would do? Okay, so what year are your watches? See, I would say to you, why don't you get a Speedmaster that's the same era as your 2 Rolexes? Isn't it nice to have...
They're kind of early turn of the millennium.
2000s? Yeah, why not? You know what I reckon is a great Speedmaster is the Broad Arrow. You remember the Broad Arrow? The Omega Speedmaster Broad Arrow?
Which one? The automatic with date or the manual?
They also
one?
had a 861.
Oh, the manual wind one, yeah.
Yeah. You don't really want the auto one.
Yeah, there's a comment in the chat about the Breitling 765. I prefer the 806 personally, but they're good choices. They're nice watches. Ted Day's asking about the rubber strap. I prefer the Everest to rubber B because you don't have to cut it to size it. And the size goes by, and the size of each bit goes by the number of links. So this is going to be 4 links here versus 5 links going down there. And they're the same as the oyster size links. And you can just add your clasp onto it.
Tanzil, $5. Randy Marsh asked if I'd consider a 5078P. It's a heavy hitter. What does the Pontiff think? I tell you what, let's bring this baby up. I'm not exactly sure what the hell it is. A Patek 5078P. What the hell is this? Oh, it's a minute repeater. It's a minute repeater. That's what it is. It's a minute repeater. I'll just call it up. Share the screen. I'll just bring this up now. Share screen. 5078P. And it is a It's an unassuming watch, but it's actually a minute repeater. Ding, 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 ding. Absolutely amazing watch.
Probably insane pricing, right?
Yeah, these things here are huge. It's 38 mils, okay? Very conservative. Hours, minutes, small seconds, moon phase, minute repeater. Where the hell's the moon phase? Is it a moon phase? Where's the moon phase? I can't see a moon phase. Where's the moon phase? Is it on? There's nothing on the back. There's no moon phase on that. I'm just reading Watchbase. Watchbase gives me the details on it there. It was produced 2008. Enamel dial. Yeah, this was kind of a larger version of the 3979. It's a hand-wound minute repeater, housed in a platinum case with enamel dial. It's £256,000 is what they go for. Oh my God, £256,000. pounds. Like that's kind of, you could buy a house, couldn't you? Could you
You
buy
can
a
buy a house and a decent watch and a decent car. Not a very big house, but a house.
Maybe in Huddersfield?
Yeah, definitely in parts of Yorkshire up north, maybe Wales. You can get a decent house, decent car, decent watch.
That's where my father was born. He was born in Huddersfield.
Ah, from Yorkshire. That's not far from Showcase.
Ah, okay. Jay Wright, £2. Please do Marco job vacancy mini vid and circulate. He's okay. Look, those guys, look, I'm actually I hope they have good success. I'll be honest with you. I'm an incubator. We incubated them, and now you gotta keep things new and fresh. This is what you need to do on this sort of channel. And my watch journey, I got to tell you, ABC, many years ago, I had a 16610. I bought it from the Trading Post. The guy was a pilot. He used to fly for Dragon Air. It's a Hong Kong airline. It's a Hong Kong airline. Yeah. Dragon Air, they do freight and I think they do also passenger. And I said to him, you know why he sold it? He sold the 16610 to buy a two-tone. He buy a 16613. This was in the late 90s, right?
Black or bluesy?
He actually bought the black one, believe it or not. And I said, I thought you were a pilot. Wouldn't you want a GMT, because of the Pan Am connection? Yeah. And he said, nah, we've got computers to work all that stuff out. He likes the timer on the sub. That's what he said to me. He just likes the simple timer on the sub. Does that make sense?
Fair enough. I mean, like I said, I've been converted to the sub, having worn it and held it.
I got to tell you, the sub, and the thing is too, I'm really happy you got a black, like the Kermit is special, but I like just the traditional black.
I mean, MJT's watch, sorry, not MJT, Mr. GMT's watch, that's a cracker. That's a fantastic watch.
It is. A lot of money.
It's 2.5 times a 16610, which is mad.
Mad Men, $5. Waking up in lockdown Melbourne to ABC, iconic. Arch, I want that two-tone Super Ocean Heritage 242 black. I just have to have it. I'll haggle like a bitch, I promise. You want to buy it pre-owned. Don't buy it new.
Yeah, and don't want it too much, otherwise will pay more.
The first deal of negotiating is you've got to be prepared to walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can't walk away, you're fucked. They can smell it.
That's right.
You got to be
prepared.
prepared.
There'll be that risk of not, of losing it and then not finding another one for months.
And I got to be totally honest with you, Mad Men. Seriously, if you want my opinion, if you're going to buy a Super Ocean Heritage, you get the steel. Forget this two-tone garbage. I don't know what the hell you're thinking, man. Two-tone's for Datejust. It's not really for the Super Ocean Heritage. The bluesy is cool, but not the bloody Breitling. Come on, man.
There's some Super Ocean Heritages in rose gold.
Yeah, they've got a few two-tones. He's nuts. He's nuts. Stick to steel. Stick to steel, for God's sake. Sports watch. Look, I don't know about you. Like Anthony was flexing on Timepiece Gentleman. I got to be honest with you. You know what I like about Rolex? Steel. You know why I like steel? Because it's a tool watch. It's rugged.
All about what looks good at the pool party, though, isn't it?
I don't actually. You know what? I had a girl who picked me up. I was wearing a two-tone bluesy, pre-ceramic. Oh, yeah. She was at airports of Thailand girl. You've seen that photo, right?
Yeah.
I don't want the attention. That's why I got rid of it. And I wanted the steel version. I don't want attention. Look, it attracts the wrong sort of attention.
And the steel is just timeless.
And by the way, if you're asking what the hell happened, how did I say? Well, what happened was I said, okay, let's go somewhere. And she said, are you going to book separate rooms? I said, honey, I thought that's what anyhow, it's a long story. Taylor Soldier Spy, $2. Arch, forget Rolex and get yourself a Patek 5170G. You know what? I would love to do that. Let me tell you why I don't. So the 5170G, guys, that's a manual wind Patek 2 Reg chronograph. You know why I don't? Let me tell you, ABC. You'll understand this. You understand VAT, don't you? You know what VAT is, don't you?
Yep.
The VAT man. Okay, in Australia, we got GST. Guess what? I've paid GST on all my watches. So I'm going to sell them. I'm going to probably have to sell the World Time, the annual calendar in an international market because they don't really have the market in Australia for them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to sell them overseas. I don't get that GST back, okay? And then to get a 5170, because Australia is such a small market, guess what? I'm going to probably have to bring one in, and I'm going to have to pay GST VAT. So I'm selling one, not getting a credit, buying one and paying the tax. I'm getting double whammed, double banged. Do you understand? And to make it even more exciting, I'll probably get low wholesale for my watches, and I'm buying the 5170 at full secondhand retail. What a great idea, Taylor. What a great idea. What a great idea.
Maybe it assumes the market is buoyant like in the US and UK.
The dealers in Singapore are nasty sons of bitches, okay? I got to be completely frank with you. They would skin me alive. Tanzil, $5. Paddock and Pussy. Paddock and Pussy. And Madman, $2. I am nuts. Thanks, fellas. Good advice. Thank you so much there. And Tanzil, $5. AC3, you played in the kiddie pool with Rolex for too long. It's time for the next level. Not complications, even. Grand complications, Archie. You know what? To be completely honest with you, I look at this man ABC here. You know what? My collection is amazing. I don't really need to have grand. You know, you're never satisfied. You get grand, then you want a platinum grand. And then, you know what? Don't just want one of them, you want two. And it's a never-ending prophecy. And I got to tell you, the ArchieLuxury story is my annual calendar, my ultimate grail watch. I remember swimming in Pattaya, and I was thinking this was 2004. I was swimming in Pattaya. I was just dreaming because I was a little bit depressed. One thing I do when I'm depressed, I think about what would I do if I won the lotto or if I had unlimited money. It's very good for your mind to think if things went fantastic. Instead of thinking what happens if everything goes to shit, what happens if things went amazing? And I was thinking, what would I get if I had a couple $1 million? And I thought, you know what? I'd get a Patek World Time. And this was 2004. So the Patek World Time at that time was the 5110, the one I've got. Yeah. And I actually said, I'd love to get the platinum, but that's too obnoxious. I'll get the white gold. And I had the white gold. When I had it, you might say this is a stupid decision. I actually preferred the yellow. I actually paid more, $250 more for the yellow gold than the white gold, even though the white gold is actually much more valuable.
Why is it more valuable?
Okay, that's a good, why? Okay, the reason is the 5110 is 37 mil, so it's a wee bit small in modern sense, right?
Yeah.
That is perfect for a Hong Kongese Chinese customer because they're a little bit smaller people. And what is their favorite color of gold in Hong Kong?
Yellow.
They love yellow. So because it's a smaller watch, it's actually easier to sell it as a yellow gold in Hong Kong. Does that make sense?
Okay. So I know you've often had this discussion. Would you consolidate your four for a major F-off attack?
Just very quickly, we'll come back to that there. The Timepiece Fund, $2, is Explorer 36 mil, best watch to wear. I don't even wear a watch while sleeping because you can touch the table. See, what I like to do is when I'm sleeping, I like to have a naked woman next to me. And I don't want to graze her or hurt her with the watch. I want to put my hands around her. So I don't ever sleep with a watch on. I want a naked lady next to me. That's what I want. Now, would I consolidate and get a super watch? As I said there, the big problem is for starters, I got this beautiful watch box. It's beautifully populated.
Yep.
Now, let me tell you this, ABC. You look at the 4 watches. Okay, so I got rid of the 606. That's the black dial one. Well, that's the one that actually meant the least to me. Let me tell you why. The World Time was a super grail. That's one I wanted since 2000. The annual calendar, I had the story. I paid for it by refinancing the car. My wife had an accident. I bought a piano. I sold it, bought a piano for her. Then I bought it back. That's part of my story.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
The 5127, that's really reminiscent. Remember, I had the 5107. That's the white gold. I've got the next model after it. And I've got that in white gold. It's almost the same. Okay, so that's kind of like a replacement to that. Because the 5107 didn't have papers. It had an extract. Whereas all of mine now are full papers. Yeah. And then I got the manual wind yellow gold one. That's actually my go-to Patek because you don't have to set the date. It's only, you just wind it and wear. It's wind and wear Patek. You see what I mean?
I've said this to you before. Whenever you've been out and you're wearing the 5196, I've said that looks the sweetest out of all of your
It's the least expensive of the Pateks, but it's the most, it's just beautiful. And it's not about money. This is the whole thing about Patek. It's not about having the most expensive on your wrist. It's just elegant. And that's what pure class is. Pure class.
Yeah, I mean, there's something in the chats about Daytonas, but I can't read the bloody things. They are just so illegible.
Look, I can't read the World Time without glasses and on. I can't. I can read the World Time, but I can't read the different countries. Like unless I really.
Yeah. No, but just the hands and then the chrono hands, and then they match with.
Yeah, but
there's a ring around the dial.
You know what?
Just
with the Daytona, you've got the screw-in crowns. By the time you've unscrewed it, whatever you're wanting to time is finished anyhow.
Yeah, some people say that they make that joke. Is it super chat from Tanzil?
Tanzil, $10. The 5196 is an icon for a reason. In the atelier, it's known as the Grand Classique from Patek Philippe. It's the modern version of the watch that saved Patek. I got to tell you, I totally agree. I really love the 6119. That's that new Calatrava, which it's got the bigger manual wind movement. It's got the hobnail. I like both of them, but they are so expensive. Patek, I tell you this now, Patek is really going through the roof. I was on Chrono 24 yesterday.
Yeah.
And prices have gone up. Like for dress Pateks, which they've been a bit soft, they're really starting to rise. I suppose that's what happens when Nautiluses and Aquanauts have gone ballistic, isn't it?
Decent watches are now going up because they're seen as, like you said, that new asset class.
Tell me this: is it really that dangerous in London? Like Paul Thorpe's making videos.
I wouldn't take any chances, and you've had people who've done Facebook ads, Gumtree ads for watches, and they do like a sleight of hand swap with the cash envelope, and it is getting completely messed up. It's just getting dangerous, really, really dangerous. Even like football players, people with money, people who sometimes have some entourage with them, not always, but even they're being targeted for their watch.
I can't believe it. Can you? But when you're talking Rolex, I mean, I'm talking just a steel sub. Is that also dangerous, or are you talking the gold RMs and platinum and?
Yeah, well, I think you'll get hit on the head for a steel sub.
Here we go. Unknown, $2. Kelly, Snake ditched you for Nico's stream. No respect. Ooh.
That's up to her. It's her time. She can do what she wants. She's a free woman.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a free world here. They can all do what they want. They got to decide what do they want to do in life. You know, I got to be honest with you. I can't make anyone do anything. I can barely run my own life, yet alone somebody else's life. That's kind of how it goes there. It is what it is, But look, it is what it is. I got to tell me this. Is watches the only hobby you have, ABC? Is that the special connection? Like, do you have fountain pens? Is there anything else you do?
Not really. Nope. It's just the watches. Pretty much the watches.
Do you collect the memorabilia, like the brochures, the books on these watches, or because I got a huge library of luxury stuff,
Have you written inside any of them? Are they collectible if they've been written on?
I think they're slightly less valuable, but I don't think it makes terrible if it's tastefully done. Why do you ask
what my
that?
father used to do, there were a few where he wrote the prices at the time.
Oh no, that's quite good.
Oh, okay.
That's quite good. It's in the catalogs, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Any of those old catalogs are worth they're worth a pretty penny, particularly 60s or 70s.
I think we've got 80s onwards.
80s is still valuable. 80s is valuable. 80s is valuable. It's still, you can't get that stuff. They're not making it anymore.
That's one of the first watches I saw from a Rolex catalog was the gold bluesy.
Mm-hmm.
That blue is just amazing. And the root beer. And when I say root beer, I don't mean this new fancy root beer that's just got a bit of brown on the bezel. It's like a tiger's eye dial and brown on the bezel and the kind of yellowy gold color on the other half of the bezel. That to me is the root beer.
Tanzil, $5. I was at my Rolex AD today. I'm first on the list for the 321. Should I pick it up for retail or just get a vintage Speedy with the 32? I honestly, the problem with the vintage is so many of them have been fiked around with. I think vintage is amazing. Okay, I love vintage, but you know what? There's nothing like modern seals, modern clasps. Tan, for someone like you, let's be honest, Tan is a bit of a perfectionist, right? He likes his he doesn't want a big scratch on it. He wants it perfect. Get the modern. I know it's expensive, but your money's pretty safe. You're not gonna lose terribly much. I would like Tan. What I would like you to do is get a 5035. I think that was Tan's watch. Just like it was my watch, the 5035, the annual calendar.
Doesn't he have one in white?
He had one. He had one because he got it from Watchbox.
Okay.
He had an Italian one, I think. Italian dial one.
Right.
But I got to tell you, seriously, the watches themselves there, I like to hear the story. I want to hear your story. That's what I like. Like I can still remember the stories. Like I told you, my first I think I've had one 16610. That was the guy who was the pilot for I can still remember Dragonair. He was a Dragonair. I remember where he lived. I remember everything about him. It was bloody over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I was really happy. Just hang on 1 minute. Tanzil, $5. AC3, you once said to avoid red subs because of all the fake dials around. Is that still the danger these days, or have you approved getting into them? Look, I got to tell you, vintage is an absolute minefield. I actually think the winner is classic now. Classic is pre-ceramic. I think, like ABC's got, I think that is actually quite cool because they're not quite fiked with. So I would say classic. I think vintage extremely, extremely difficult. But I got to tell you, the whole thing
they're the longest serving. They're the longest serving watches. About 30 years in production. These 16610, 16710s. So I
Well,
like
there's
the
a number of
16700 as
variations,
well.
but sorry.
Slightly, yeah. You'll get slight variations, but I also like the 16700 with the quick set date. That's cool.
The 16800, you mean?
No, sorry, 16700 GMT. GMT1.
Oh, yes, that's the GMT one. Yes,
with the
yes.
quick
Because
set
they had the
date.
I got to tell you, in all honesty, the classic watches, I think if I were you, get the correct box. Did you get box and papers with this one, or just box alone, watch
Box
alone,
alone.
naked? Yep,
Box
that's
alone.
okay. That's okay. A lot of them, I don't think papers is a disaster. I like papers, but I'm more
Nice to
concerned
have.
with the
They're nice
condition
to
of the
have.
watch. I want a nicer
Exactly, yeah.
condition. You know, people get sort of caught up in the wrong thing. Claude C, $10. I love this one-on-one chat, Pontiff. ABC is pure class. No, he is. He's a
Thanks,
very
Claude.
classy guy there. I got to tell you, for me, my dream Rolex, I had the catalog in the late 80s. It had that day date on the front. Remember that? With the champagne dial? It was the mini catalog. It had a day date. That was my dream watch. And the funny thing is, no, it was a day date. It was a day date. Because I always wanted one. I
Okay.
thought, you know, if I was rich, I'd buy one of those. It'd be amazing to have a solid gold day date. The interesting thing is they never mention the size, you know, like millimeters. Now they mention the size. Back then, no one even asked what size it was. Like even
I
in the
think because they're
paddock.
all standard kind of 36 and 40, weren't they? Sports.
No, Air
40,
Kings were 34. The Air King was
Yeah.
34. The Rolex date was 34. Okay.
And they became 36, didn't they, with the date just?
Well, the date just was always 36. The like they really, size wasn't a big thing there. Like it's only when they started advertising the size that people got all caught up on it. But it was never an issue. I remember my dad bought an Omega. He's got the one like that Will had, you know, that Will.
Yeah,
was-
yeah. Old female
And
stuff.
that was like a 31 mil, and that was for a man in the 90s. He thought, oh, this is a nice watch, nice small ultra thin watch. Yeah, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was all about thinness in those days, thinness of the watch.
yeah, it was quartz. He took it in the shower. And I remember saying to him, Dad, I don't think it's waterproof. He goes, it's a sea master. It's a master
Yeah.
of the seas. And I said,
Misnomer
Dad,
right there.
yeah, you know how it goes. But I got to tell you, the watches has been a huge. Has the watches been joy for you? Tell me how you feel about the watches.
It's bittersweet, especially when you had certain watches. I had a Tudor Submariner, 79030.
I had plastic subs, plastic Tudor subs as beaters. I thought they were garbage. You know, I just wear this as your shitter. And they're so valuable now.
Yep.
And the stupid thing is, you know, when I had a plastic sub, I really wanted a sapphire one. I thought, oh, it'd be really good if I had a sapphire sub. But the plastic one is so valuable. I was an idiot.
It's mad now. I mean, the Tudor subs are going. The ETA movements, they're near 16610 prices now. They're creeping up 16610 prices.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. They're vintage subs with the you know, the what's her name? The snowflake hands, you know?
Oh, those are even more. Absolutely phenomenal.
Tanzil, $5. Have you ever owned a 16550 cream rail dot? No, I've never had a 16550. I've seen a few, but I've never actually. See, that was a transitional Explorer 2.
They're about 15,000-20,000 pounds.
Well,
now.
they had 3 dials when they did the Explorer 2. When it went sapphire, there was white dial, cream dial, and black. And that cream is extremely valuable. But you know what? I got to be honest with you. I've had a 1655.
Have you?
Yeah, I had one of those. I sold it. I bought it for 2,000 and I sold it to Alvin in Singapore for 4,500. Same day.
Wow.
I thought I was so smart.
Yeah. Thought the wheeler dealer, but now hindsight's a wonderful thing. That's the thing.
That's partly why I've gone in. I can't do vintage anymore because I had so many cheap and it just pains me.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's why I don't want to sell the Paddocks off. Like, you know how you're saying to me, oh, Arch, would you get a Super Grail? Sell them all. Well, you know what the problem is? What'll probably happen is they'll go through the roof. They'll become very valuable. And yet again, I can't get onto those again. You know, maybe it's best just to keep what you got. Just because the funny thing is, you know what? I had a good friend. When I got my Explorer 1, you know, he laughed at me. He goes, oh, that's a crappy Rolex. He said, that's a plastic glass. It hasn't even got the big Rolex symbol. You got that stupid triangle at the 12. He said, that's a Clayton Rolex. That's a Rolex you get when you can't afford a real Rolex. That's what he said to me. I can remember that was Mark French. He was my friend. He was a bit of an asshole, actually. Mark French. He was my friend in high school. He is the guy, his parents, like, we were middle class. His parents were upper middle. Like, we had a Ford Fairmont. That's like a Ford Granada.
Okay.
His dad had an Alfa Romeo 75 Twin Spark. That was the wedgie Alfa Romeo. And they lived in a better, like, I lived on a main road. He lived in a nice, more upmarket cul-de-sac. Like, he was my aspiration. Like, how his parents were is what I wanted to be. You know what I mean? That's very aspirational.
Yeah.
And he's the reason I got into classic cars, because he used to give me the Classic Car magazine, Classic Car and Sports Car, to read. And I remember they had ads for Louis Vuitton in them. That's what got me into Louis Vuitton. I thought, you know what I would love? This was my dream. Let me tell you my dream, okay? This is my dream. I remember thinking, you know what I'd really like to have? An E-Type Jaguar. I wanted a E-Type Coupe 3.8. So Series 1 E-Type Jaguar, British Racing Green with a biscuit interior.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have a little Louis Vuitton briefcase in tiger green on the passenger seat. I wanted to have a keeple, you know, the Louis Vuitton monogram keeple in the back.
Okay.
And I wanted a solid gold day date. I thought that would be so cool.
That would be the wheeler dealer, wouldn't it?
The wheeler dealer. And then, you know, my dream, my fantasy, as I started reading classic car magazines, I always loved the SL Mercedes, and I loved the Pagodas. And I thought, you know what my dream would be one day would be to have... I just wanted a girlfriend. It was so hard to get a girlfriend when I was in high... I mean, it was so hard. You tried to talk to girls. It was hard. You know what I mean? It was hard to get a girlfriend. And I thought, you know what? I would love to have a Mercedes-Benz convertible SL. We'll put a picnic blanket in the back. We'll take a picnic and we'll go to the park. It like kind of nice coldy weather. We'll have a scarf on. We'd sit down, have some champagne or wine and some little snacks.
That's kind of cars they used to drive in Dallas and Dynasty.
No, well, the Pagoda was even older. The Pagoda's the 60s. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I'm talking about 1980s.
Yeah, that's the R107. And you know what? Many years later, I was looking after my friend's... Well, he's actually not a friend anymore. We had a massive fallout. He's a conspiracy theory guy, and I had a bit of a fight with him. But that's another story. And I was looking after his car. I said to my wife, let's go for a picnic. I wanted to make my fantasy come true. And you know what happened? We got the picnic. I got the blanket already. I had the wine, the little hamper.
Yeah.
And my wife said to me, "Can we take the Honda instead? I don't feel safe in the Mercedes." That was my fantasy. The fantasy. We took the Honda. Wah, 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 wah.
Do you remember how much the milk house used to be? The 1019.
I've never owned a 1019. They are super valuable. Very quick.
They were dogs.
Super chat, Tanzeel, $10. Let's give a shout out to the ones that had privilege to stream with the Pontiff and never asked for a dime. Jin, Hisham, Blue Shirt, Irix Guy, Ron the Shrink, ABC, Suckerhorn, Adrikos, etc. He's
Showcase
very loyal.
One of them as well. I'd say Showcase.
Yeah, Showcase has been very loyal to me as well there, and JJ's also pretty good. I would really like him to come on. He doesn't want to. He's got some allegiances. I understand. I'd like him to come back. I would.
I think
And I'd like Birminghard. I like Birminghard. He's Captain America.
Yeah.
I miss him.
I think there'll come a time when we'll all sort of come back together and be as
Tanzeel, $5. And last but not least, the Church of Plastic, awaiting the next sermon.
Who writes those scripts?
You know who writes them, don't you?
I've got an idea.
It's Showcase.
Isn't
Plastic
it?
doesn't have the brains to put that together. It's Showcase.
Oh, God, the architect.
No, the script is from Sovereign.
That's what, yeah, I had a feeling.
Sovereign.
The theatrical dialogues he kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's an intellectual. He's an intellectual, isn't he?
Yeah.
And here we go. We've got $50. Wow. Humble Pie, $50. Here's your shout out, Tan. Thank you so much. And he's got, look at this beautiful Patek travel time there with the orange. That's absolutely gorgeous. Let me say this to you. So that was my fantasy. And Mark French, he said to me, that's not a real Rolex. That's a Rolex you get when you can't afford a Rolex. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, Mark. That's okay. I didn't really care. And I remember years later, I was at a nightclub and this girl said, can I touch your Rolex? And I remember I took it off my wrist. I'll show you this. I took it off my wrist and I said, here, have a look. I wouldn't let go of my fingers because she wanted to run off with it. I said, no, have a look. It stays with, I knew it would be stolen. You know what I mean? I knew this would end very, very badly. So,
well, there was a time when subs were dogs compared to two-tone date justs. You know,
yes, everybody wanted a two-tone date just. Even, you know, my friend Herman, God rest his soul there, he had a Rolex date. He had a no-holes case date. You know, the date, that was the 34 mil. He actually said to me, he looked at the date just and it was a bit big. He actually preferred a smaller. That's why he went with the two-tone date.
It was all about what goes under the cuff, wasn't it?
Yeah. You know, because he said, oh, he saved a bit of money too. It was considerably cheaper. He said, oh, I was happy to, it was better watch. And I said, oh, well, it's not actually. I think you would have gone the other way, but he didn't quite see it that way. But Humble Pie, thank you so much for your very kind super chat. That really means a lot to me. That's very, very, very cool to do that. I really do appreciate it. YouTube is hard. Believe you me, YouTube is hard, man. Tell me this. When did you get your first Rolex? I wanted one so badly. My
first one that I could call my own was 2004.
What did you get? How old were you?
It was a GMT Coke.
Yeah.
It was a U serial, I remember.
Ah, so that'd be mid-90s?
It was from the mid-90s, so it was about just under
late
10
90s.
years old at that time.
Yeah.
Oh no, U is 98, isn't it?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. Late 90s. Yeah.
And that was how old was I? 2004. I was 28. Yeah, I was 28.
Wow. Just hang on, Tanzeel, $10. I'm here to pledge my oath and allegiance to AC3. Panelists may be separatists, but Archie is the monarch, the pontiff, the don to all men. Sov-Ron. There we go. Thank you, Tan and Sov-Ron.
Timepiece Fund has also given a super chat.
Ooh. They're $2. Here we go. We're back. Timepiece Fund, $2. AC3, cut my Seiko journey. What's next for 60 of them? What does he mean?
I don't know what that refers to.
We've got Sovron in the chats there. Thank you, Sovron. I got to tell you, so what were you doing? How old were you? What job did you have? What happened? Tell me
I was training to be a teacher at that time, maths teacher.
And what made you get the watch?
Oh, my dad was still alive. I was still doing some work with him, and so it was just bread and butter, part and parcel of my.
So you got a Coke? You got what model? That was a 16700. Was a GMT 710. Sorry, it was a 2. And box papers?
Had a service paper.
Okay. And what happened to that watch? What happened to that watch?
£1,400. I think we then sold it to consolidate to pay for some other piece. I don't remember which one exactly. But yeah, we.
Oh, I just got Mike the Snake in the comments there. He had a Pre-L de Tomaso Pantera. I love the de Tomaso Pantera. They are an amazing car. He sent me an email a couple days ago, Mike. We'll have to get you on the show to talk Panteras. That was the American and Italian car. They used a Ford engine. They used a Ford V8, and I don't know why they didn't do better than they had some quality control problems. So tell me this: you sold it. Why did you sell this damn thing?
Well, the GMT it wasn't what it is now. It was still a decent watch, but it wasn't something that turned heads the way it does now, and it wasn't such a hot.
So why did you sell it? You needed the money, or
what did we do? We put it towards. What did we put it towards? I can't remember. Was it I think it was towards an AP Royal Oak, if I remember correctly.
Oh, you got an AP Royal Oak?
We had.
Who's we? Your dad and you, or
you?
Yeah.
Me and my dad.
What sort of AP?
It was a 2-tone Royal Oak with champagne dial, I remember.
Automatic?
I'm not sure which size. Can't remember now which size.
It was possibly a 14790. I had one of those. That's the 36mm.
Was it that small?
It wears bigger, but because it's integrated bracelet and it's ultra thin.
It wears very thin. Yeah.
It wears like a 37. And what happened to that watch?
That got sold in auction. That was auctioned off.
Why?
We weren't really going to do anything with those watches. This was auctioned after my father passed away, so we weren't really going to do anything with a lot of those watches.
Royal Flush, $20. I tried to watch one of these shows with these guys talking about Rolex. It was painful. This type of venue suits you way better. It's informative and interesting and keeps me out of the therapist's office. Thank you so much, Royal Flush. Tell me this. You had the thing is too, you had no idea of knowing these things were going to become so valuable.
No, nope, not at all.
And like when you say you had them, you and your dad had a collection together, was that right?
It was mainly him who collected
Yeah.
stuff from kind of throughout the mainly 70s, maybe starting from the 60s and all the way up to the noughties.
Now the GMT, what's the significance of the GMT you've got now? Was that one your dad got for you, or what happened then?
No, that was just one I wanted to buy because they were going up in value. It has gone up in value since I bought it, and I bought it without any papers. And it's the solid end link and holes case, which is, you know, the Austin Daniels sweet spot. And
yes,
it's just that's a one and done. It can be used to do some timing, elapsed timing, as well as time zones, and it's just such a cool watch. And I think personally for me, the new bezels, the font is too crowded, too cramped of the numbers.
Yep.
Don't move in half hours either.
Yep. Tell me this. How many children do you have, ABC?
2.
Boys or girls?
1 boy, 1 girl.
Would you buy your wife like a 69173 classic Datejust?
I bought her a salmon dial Datejust recently, 36mm, with Romans bracelet.
Does she like it?
Loves it. Loves
okay.
It.
Yeah.
And that used to be a men's watch, even the color, even the size, and it can actually pass off as a unisex watch. But nowadays,
did you ask her if she wanted the 26mm? You know, the 26mm traditional ladies one. Or she doesn't. Too small.
I think it's too small. Even the 31 would be a bit too small.
Okay.
I think a 34 date was probably the smallest I was willing to start at. And you know, these are things that you can. You know, they're always going to go up in value. All this jewelry. That's always going to take a hit, whereas this watch is always going to be, you know, going up in value.
Tell me this, what stopped you becoming a teacher?
Oh, it's a mugs game. It's an mugs game.
I thought they earn reasonable money in the UK.
That's in Australia. So I had some Australian colleagues, and okay, the cost of living is more in Oz. I know that.
Yeah, it's bloody expensive.
Salaries are pretty good. It's
I mean, a teacher would.
The professionals.
Yes, 80,000.
Yeah, well, okay. Here,
what's that? £40,000? £40,000 a year.
It's probably a bit more than that. It's probably about 55,000. Whereas now, okay, a teacher here earns. If they just qualified, they're probably earning a little over £20,000 a year.
Yep.
And you're not going to hit 40s unless you become like a head of department, subject head of department.
So what? You're an engineer now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm an IT. Yeah.
IT. Okay. You prefer that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, this thing about, but the teachers, you get such good holidays, it's amazing. You get 65 days off. For me, and I've yet to find someone who disagrees with me, it's a false perk because you've been working so flat out all year that it takes you a good week and a half to actually unwind. Then you got sort of 4 or so weeks, and then you got the dread of going back to bloody work.
Are the kids that bad, but in England these days?
It's more a case of, yeah, they are. I think kids are quite crap, but I think it's the fact that schools inspections has become a pen-pushing exercise. So you've got these senior managers who've not been in a classroom for
I can still remember. I used to watch Grange Hill. Remember Grange Hill?
Oh yeah. Well, we used to watch the Schools and Neighbours and Home and Away, like Mr. Fisher from Home
Ah,
and Away.
Mr. Flathead! Flathead! You're talking about Flathead!
Yeah.
Did you know Shane? You know Shane?
Yeah, Peter Brommer. Yeah,
he
died.
committed suicide.
Tragic.
45. But you know what the problem is with him? He entered Home and Away when he was 15. Apparently, he didn't get on with Angel. He said Angel was a real ambitious bitch, which I can accept, right?
On screen, you mean?
No, in real life. In real life.
Yeah.
Okay. But Shane was kind of laid back. He became a window cleaner because he liked abseiling. He liked heights and abseiling down mountains. So he wanted to do something. So he entered Home and Away. He was 15 years old. He became a super, he became the top of the industry. It's a bit like me. I do my show, then Marco comes out, he gets the awards, he gets the big pay. And you look at the veterans, like, Alf Stewart, Mr. Stewart and Flathead Fisher, Don Fisher, and they're just in the background. They're just kind of props, right? And I got to tell you, these youngins, they come out, suddenly they're sexiest men. They're in Dolly, it's a girls' magazine, sexiest man alive, sexiest this and that. And they're A grade, like that they're invited to all the invites. Lexus has an event. Let's invite Dieter Brommer. He's got the sexy. And the problem is, okay, that's cool in your 20s. So he's 15. He goes into his late teens, goes into his 20s. He gets a few movie roles. As he got older, he got a few. He's on Blue Heelers. He's on a few, but not anywhere near as like he was before.
Yeah.
Then he hits his 40s. Guess what? Instead of the most beautiful glamour pusses, the movers and shakers, he's got Margaret from Mount Druitt. Let me put that into a British expense. Polly from the council council estate, right? She's got four kids from three different fathers. She's the size of a bash, a London bash. That's the only girls he can pull, and he was living at home with his parents, so obviously he didn't have a lot of money. Like he would have earned really good salary when he was on Home and Away, but that was years ago. You know what I mean? Like that was probably spent frivolously, Yeah. And what happened is he can't handle it. He was this, like he said in an interview, he said if he works at a pub, like he's serving drinks, they said, "Oh, you were on TV. What are you doing pulling beers?" Like people kind of laugh at you.
Yeah.
And I think that's because they were kind of jealous. Like, I got to tell you something, too, in my own life. I was a very proud man. I had my own computer business, right? Guess what? Let me just get the super chat and I'll tell you something. Church of Plastic, $2. Bobby Google is a little boy playing with men. Thank you, Plastic. Let me tell you something. Come on, be nice. He's a nice. Let me tell you this. So I was very proud. I had a BMW at 19. I had my Rolex. I was winner, chicken dinner. I even had press articles about me in the paper. There we go. Okay.
All right.
And guess what? Then I had to drive taxis. I had to drive taxi cabs because I was down and out. So I've had my fall from grace. Believe you me, I had my fall from grace. I had my fall from grace. And you know what? It was hard. It's hard to go from being Mr. Sophisticate with the BMW, the career and everything going great, to driving taxi cabs.
Yeah, well,
I found it hard.
There's something about Aussie superstars committing suicide. You got Michael Hutchence.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Heath Ledger.
Mm-hmm.
And now Dieter Brommer. I mean, it's such a shame these young guys.
Tanzil, $5. AC3, them stating they raised $1,000 in a day is cute. Sounds like an average stream with Jin and Tan. He's so cool. Tan is a cool guy there. And we got the doc, the real doc. There he is, the doc's on.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Hey, good guys.
I had to come in to close the show down and stir up some shit.
No worries, Doc. We're just talking about Australian, because we were talking about a recent Australian celebrity committed suicide, and ABC.
Really?
Yeah, he started as a teen hunk. He was a teen hunk. I always hated Shane because he had an earring. I always disliked him. He always pissed me. I don't know what you thought of him, ABC. He always pissed me off. Shane kind of
liked him. I can see why the girls liked him.
The girls liked him because he was relatable. And I think what's
his last name?
His name was Brummer, Dieter Brummer. Dieter.
I thought you
Brummer.
said it was Shane.
No, that was the character he played on Home and Away. That was his character's name. Shane Parrish was his character.
And it's got the Nick Parrish cop.
Sorry? The cop, Nick Parrish.
Nick Parrish was
Yeah, I remember the first episode. He came on. Remember, he came in, he drank the Mr. Fisher's milk. Mr. Fisher said, and he's put the milk bottle back in the fridge. It was empty.
That's nasty.
Yeah, that is very nasty. Jamie J, £5, €5. Greetings, Arch. This is the guy who I had on yesterday. What's the deal with Patek Philippe cufflinks from the AD? Do they have a waiting list for them, or are they really accessible? They're generally available. They're bloody expensive. They're like 4,000 euros. Like
that's what I was going to say. You can buy them if you want. You just have to have the money to do it.
Look, if you've got the Patek, you've got maybe buy a set. I've kind of thought about it myself. I've honestly thought, it'd be so cool to have a set of Patek cufflinks. I actually wear these Paul Smith cufflinks, and what I like about them is they're steel.
What I like about them is they're not as expensive as Patek. I got some because you recommended them and I bought them.
Well, I think they're I like British design. Paul Smith is kind of a British design icon. And what I like about Paul Smith, he's kind of very avant-garde, and he's got a bit of a sense of humor in his style. But that you can get these for about $100, whereas the Patek ones, they're precious metal. I would love a set, but in life you sort of start saying to yourself, do I really need that shit? Do I really need $5,000 pair of cufflinks? You know what? Probably not.
I think the $5,000 ones is starting price, because I went to Vegas and I went.
No, I'm talking. I'd buy them pre-owned. I'd buy them. I've already discounted them in my head. What I would pay pre-owned.
Because they had them for $10,000.
Yeah. No, they're look. Anything Patek Philippe is expensive. Are they worth it?
I think they were white gold. At least that's something.
No, well, you can get them in white gold, rose gold, yellow. You can get them whatever. They've even got Nautilus cufflinks.
But actually, for $10,000, white gold, at least it's not stainless.
I don't think they do them in stain. I'm not sure about that.
All I saw were gold.
They're expensive. They also used to do a Patek cigarette lighter. They're crazy, super value. They're worth about $10,000 now. They had a cigarette lighter like the Ellipse. You used to be able to get an Ellipse keyring as well. There was a keyring. There was a cigarette lighter. They did that with the Nautilus as well. Patek has had some weird thing. Tanzil, $10. AC3, quick history lesson for you. Do you ever send a panelist a Breitling Super Ocean Heritage 2, or did they pay for it and not ask for a dime unlike others? Yes, that was Doc. Doc's got the suit. You got the Heritage 1.
But mine is the 1. Mine is the 1.
That's correct. The black
because
dial.
Because mine has the aluminum bezel.
Yes. And I got to tell you, for a retro watch, I think it works better with a aluminum.
Totally cool. Totally cool.
That's kind of how I would do it. But
although I'm wearing a different Breitling today. I'm wearing the 765 today. I love it. Love it.
I got to tell you, what I was saying is,
it's my Breguet beater. Breguet.
I got to
because
tell you,
it beat Breguet. It beat Breguet to the punch.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Type 20.
but I got to tell you, I think the problem is with these movie stars. They are famous. They have so much attention. They get caught up in their own bullshit. They think it'll never end, and I think it's really sad for Shane. I prefer to call him Shane instead of Dieter because I think it's kind of sad. He was living at home. Listen to this. He's 45. Okay, so
wow, 45 he wasn't even that old.
Well, but 45 is an age where what's your career? You're judged on what do you do. He's a washed out has-been actor. Okay, he's a has-been. He doesn't have a house. He was living, because Sydney is so expensive, he was living with his parents.
Wow, living in the garage.
You know what I'm saying? Like your life isn't really working.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can get... Look, Doc, you're a doctor, okay? You've always... Men are judged by their profession. Women are judged on their beauty.
Correct.
Do you understand that? Like a man, first thing you do when you go to a barbecue or you go somewhere, oh, what do you do, John? Oh, I'm a doctor. Ah, I'm an accountant. Ah, I'm a bricklayer. Ah, I'm unemployed. And the reason people ask this, they're not trying to be friendly. They're trying to work out how much money you earn. It's the pecking order. Do you understand?
No, they're also trying to figure out like you say, pecking order. They're trying to figure out whether they are besting you, whether they're better than you.
Yeah, they're trying to size you up.
Yeah.
And I mean, in Sydney's sort of the most expensive capital city in Australia. You go somewhere, oh, which part of Sydney you're from? They're not being friendly. They're trying to gauge how much you're worth. Because if you're in the northern beaches, that's 3 million plus. If you're in Mount Druitt, that's unemployed hellhole. You know, they're kind of gauging where you fit in the pecking order. And I got to tell you, as a man, I was very, very depressed in my 30s, my late 20s, because I didn't go to, I'll just get this super chat here, Watches 24, $5. Arch, are you familiar with singing bird boxes? Patek made a few of them for a time, very desirable to collectors. No, I'll have to check it out.
A lot of people like those, actually.
I'll have to check it out.
A lot of people like those.
I'll have to check that out. I got to tell you guys, I was really depressed in my 20s because I had a computer business. It went shit. I'd never worked for anyone else, ABC.
Yeah.
And you know what? I found it so hard to get a job.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something naughty I did?
No one's listening.
No one's listening. So I wasn't even getting interviews. So I'd worked for myself from 15 to 28. I had basically had my own computer business, right? And I was trying to get a job in IT. And I put a resume together, knockback. I wasn't even getting phone calls, okay? I had a pile of rejection letters. And I thought, what the hell do I do? I'm desperate. I had 2 children, a mortgage. I was just shit, right? And I did something a little bit dodgy. I placed an ad in the newspaper for a job I'd like to get to see what their resumes would be like. And that's what I did. I got all these people sending me their resume. I stole the best bits.
Ah.
And it wasn't that I didn't have
slick.
It wasn't that I didn't have the experience. I didn't know how to present it in a resume. So instead of saying I worked for myself, I said I had contracts with my key clients. I said I've worked for da-da-da-da-da, worked for da-da-da-da-da-da as a contractor. So I got into the contracting gig because they knew me. They would give me a good reference. I had a few of them who gave me a reference, but I didn't know how to put my resume. Does that make sense, ABC? It's a little bit unorthodox. And
it's interesting how you say resume, sort of like The way I would
CV.
imagine Sean
It's a
Connery
CV.
would say it. No, but you're saying it with a little bit of an accent, like Sean Connery might say it.
And I got to tell you, I was really depressed because I was a successful. When I say success, I mean I'm middle class. I had a BMW. I wasn't Mercedes-Benz S-Class successful, but I was, for a lower middle class person, I was kind of punching at upper middle class levels. Okay.
I'd say that was about right. If you had a Mercedes, people would be jealous.
Well, even the BMW, they were jealous. But I had so much. I found it so hard mentally to be your identity. I hadn't finished my degree. My whole identity was, what do you do for a job? Oh, you're unemployed. Oh, I just closed my IT business. Oh, you're not very good at it then, are you? What's gone wrong? And I got to tell you, as a man, your career is so important to you. You know, it's funny. In my 20s, I wanted to do well. I did well in my computer business. I did well. Then I closed that and I was working for a company, and I got to tell you, I had a fight. I was on this project flying around Australia. I loved it. Then I had a fight with my boss because he promoted his friend, and then they put me into call center, and that was death. I tell you what, help desk. Oh my God, did I hate it. The product was shit. I hated it. My marriage was crap. Everything in my life was a disaster. I was so depressed. I used to sleep. I just wanted to come home and sleep.
We've seen the AC3 temper. I'm not sure the call center was a great fit.
I was lazy. I just surfing. I used to surf. I hated it. I hated it. I hated my life. I hated my job. My marriage was crap. The kids, look, I had young kids. I remember on a Friday afternoon that I used to have to take them to Little Athletics. I hated that. I just come home and just fall asleep, and I'd wake up and I'd get really depressed. I'd wake up on a Saturday morning, like 9 o'clock, and it'd be beautiful sunshine. I'd be so angry. It was so beautiful outside. I'd be, look at this. My life is so shit. I mean, it's all mental. It's all my life wasn't shit. I was alive. I didn't have bloody. It's just how you look at it. I was so depressed. I don't know how to say it. I went overseas. That kind of snapped me out of it.
It sounds like before you were into watches too.
No, Doc. I was into watches all along that. What had actually happened is when I closed the computer business, I had my Rolex day date, my 16610 sub steel date. I had an Explorer 2. I had a Datejust. I had a 16800 as a beta. You know what?
Oh.
ABC, you know what? When I closed the business, I had to sell it all off to clear overdraft.
Right.
So I was super depressed because I had no watches. I was left with a boy-sized Tudor on a NATO, 30 mil boy-sized Tudor from the 40s, which actually I sold for several $1,000s later, but that's another story. But man, I wanted, I sold them all off. The first watch I sold was my sub. Then I sold the day date, then the sub, the 1680 went, 16800. So 16800 went, then I sold off the 16800 went. 16800 went, then I sold the day date, then I sold the 16610. I remember I sold it to a guy who sold Lamborghinis. And I had the Explorer 2. You know what I should have done? I was a complete dickhead. What I should have done is said, okay, I'm going to keep my day date with Diamond Dial, and I'm going to keep my Explorer 2 Polar. That's it. I don't care about sell the other ones, but I'm keeping those two. That's my day date was like my MBA in business. Do you understand? I should have kept it, but I didn't.
You had obligations, unfortunately.
No, but you know what? Then I went and had an affair, and I went and squandered bloody that sort of money on this stupid bitch.
Sometimes you can have too much testosterone on board.
But do you understand? I wasted that money on a bitch, okay? And she was a lunatic. I remember she said to me, I remember I was in McDonald's. I was in McDonald's, and she was really beautiful. Well, she sort of was beautiful. And she said to me, Paul, if ever you had a car accident and you were disfigured, I wouldn't stay by you.
What?
She's honest.
And I thought to myself, you know what?
Can I have some fries?
Yeah, can I have fries? I remember thinking,
commitment to you.
Okay, thank you.
That's out of the blue, a little
that's
bit.
really kind of freaky. And she had this. I remember she had a nose ring. She had a nose ring. She was a little bit.
Oh well, no wonder.
And she was crying because the nose ring it kept falling out. She was upset because of it. I'm thinking, what the fuck? What the fuck am I doing with this piece of shit? I remember saying to myself, what the fuck am I doing with this piece of shit of a person?
You might ask, how did I get here?
And I thought, fuck me, Dad. I remember saying to myself, you know what? I got to have sex with her a couple more times, then I'm leaving. I remember saying that the penny kind of dropped. And she always thought she was more beautiful than me. I'll tell you what happened to her. You know what happened to her? So I was kind of a 6.5. I was a 7.25 out of 10. She was an 8.5. Okay.
All right.
And she had mental illness. She was bipolar.
Well, that goes with the territory.
She used to take Largactil to sleep at night.
It does more than that.
Okay. And then what she did was she decided to get onto medication to deal with her bipolar, and she ballooned to a size 22. She went from being a size 10 to she was bigger than me, twice as big as me.
Sounds like lithium.
Oh, she used to take lithium as well. Yes. And then what happened is, so she couldn't handle being no longer the beautiful girl. So what happened to her? She committed suicide.
Like Shane.
Now, I hadn't been with her for like 10 years because last contact I had with her was in 2003. I'll tell you what happened, okay? I'll tell you about that in a minute. It's a great story. But she committed suicide in 2011 because I looked her up on Facebook and I saw this bloody plaque. There was a plaque. The poor girl had committed suicide, which is very, very sad. Okay, I mean, look. I was an idiot to fall for her, but she was like a Klingon. I don't know if you've seen Star Trek. They had this creature.
Oh my God! I thought you meant Klingon like a verb.
No. She was like this creature. I don't know if you remember this creature that wanted salt, and what it would do is it was a creature that could pretend to be anything you wanted.
Yes. That was one of the Star Trek from the original series.
Yeah. And she was like that. Like, I was interested in luxury goods and train sets. She was happy to talk about that. And I thought, fuck. I thought she was really into that was just her marketing ploy, right? And what happened was, okay, so I'll tell you what happened, okay? So what happened is, this is what went really wrong with us, okay? So we'd separated. We hadn't been together for ages, but I still had access to her email address.
As you do.
And I used to always go in there and just have a read about the new boyfriend because she needed confidence from men. She was promiscuous as fuck, okay? So what happened is I used to always go in there and she met this guy who was a Scientologist.
Oh, God.
Tom Cruise.
Okay. Anyhow, what happened is...
John Travolta.
Okay, let me tell you this. Okay, so what happened? I used to read her emails just for fun. Okay, I never said anything. I just used to sneak in, read the emails, and get out.
Oh well, then in that case, it's okay.
And then what happened is, let me tell you this. Okay, I was doing some marketing on my computer. and I used this piece of software that went and sucked all the email addresses from all my email addresses, all my email boxes.
Your contacts.
And it accidentally went into hers.
Uh-oh.
And what happened is I sent a marketing blurb to the new boyfriend of hers, who's a Scientologist who gets really, really touchy on people contacting him. And he says to her, I got this weird email from this guy who's trying to sell luxury secondhand watches to me. And it exploded that I had been reading her emails for the last 5 years. Actually, no, last 3 years. Oh, was she angry? Oh, my God. You never seen a woman scorned. Oh, my God. Because this was the about 7 boyfriends after me.
Yeah.
Oh, she's felt so violated. She felt so violated.
It's like watching her take a shower, except for maybe not as fun for you.
Look. I'm just telling you the story, okay? She felt so violated. No, I admit I was a dick. I should never have got caught. What an idiot. I was just using the software to gather email. Hey, amateur, I got busted fair and square, okay? I got busted fair and square, sweetie. And yeah, that was the last. So that was in 2003. I got 2002. No, 2003. I got busted. Okay. Yeah, that didn't go over well. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she was so. Oh my God. She never spoke to me again after that. So I never knew what happened to her after that. And yeah, Tanzeel, $5. ABC, is that a rubber bee on your wrist, on your watch? The best Archie videos were the ones with him trying to take watch bands off live.
The one you did with the IWC with those 2 kind of pushers, that was done quite well, because I found that to be a complete pain in the ass. But no, this is an Everest one that allows you to put the clasp, so it doesn't have the tying buckle. And like I said before, you can size it according to the number of oyster links on the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock side. And I think that works better without having to cut it, any of that crap. So yeah, I recommend Everest. They fit really nicely onto the case. Let me just see. If you can see this, there's no gap between the case and the strap. It just fits really snugly on.
Just show us that again. That's beautiful.
Yeah, there's no gap, and the bezel can still turn, and there's no.
Oh, that's a Holes case.
It's a Holes case, and the bracelet has a.
Would you ever put a NATO on that?
You can. I can. It'd probably be something like a black NATO that I'd put on.
How about a James Bond NATO like this? Look at this.
Yeah, is that...
No? Not that impressed.
Is that confusing the...
It's got the green... It's actually... How about this? What about the Italian flag NATO?
Forza Italia. Where's Marco?
Or if you want to be really French, what about the French flag?
That's what you used to wear on your Polar Explorer, isn't it?
Yeah. Or if you want to go Navy themes, Royal British Navy.
That looks like grey to me. I don't know why.
It is grey. And this is actually the James Bond.
Oh, but hold on. What about good Bucky Jack? Get some NATO straps for your Rolex.
Exactly. That's original British Army issue there. There we go. Here we go. We got another super chat there from Tanzeel, the man. Tanzeel, $5. ABC for good comedy. Search the ArchieLuxury channel for the video of AC3 putting a Patek on a NATO. You will be chuffed to bits. Yes, I did do that. That is exactly right. That was interesting. But I got to tell you, that girl, anyhow, she got so... Oh, that was a disaster. Don't even talk to me about that. And then I got to tell you, in all honesty, I never had any money. Okay, let me tell you this story next. Okay, so what happened then was, right, I was in Thailand. I was trying to run a business. I never had any money because my wife in Australia was draining me, and I had a new wife in Thailand. It's never a good idea to have two wives. Do you know that, guys? You've got to be really rich, okay?
Yeah.
And because I did a lot of spending, because I was getting reimbursed from who I was working for, Amex gave me a platinum Amex.
Nice.
Right. The only problem was I ended up raking up $100,000 on it.
Okay. That's a problem.
$100,000. And I sold everything off I had. Okay, I sold everything off and it went down to about 50 because I had stock, because I was buying and selling things, but I was living a little bit because I could buy stuff, sell it, and pay last month's bill. You understand? But I got a bit hedonistic, okay? Okay?
Yeah.
And then what happened was I came back. Let me just tell you this. Here we go. Humble Pine, $5. Just want to support the pontiff because America. So I came back to Australia in 2004 owing about $50,000 on my card. And the penalty interest rate, you know what the monthly interest rate charge was for defaulting on an American Express card is? It's 3% a month.
Okay.
36% a year.
Ouch.
It's ouch. So what I managed to do was I managed to refinance the house that me and the wife owned, and basically she took it over. And I started driving taxis. And I got to tell you, the timepiece fund, $5. Hey, Arch, what do I do with the 60 Seiko JDM watches now that AC3 has labeled all of them as shitters? Laugh out loud. 60 Seiko JDM. What's the JDM stand for?
It's not the Japanese-made ones.
Well, they're okay. They're okay. They're not bad. They're quite good.
They're bad at all. I think they're quite
You
good.
could easily sell those on Fleabay. Jay Wright, £2. Can you go back through 5 bracelets? Jubilee first. Can you just go through 5 bracelets? Rolex first Jubilee. What does he mean?
Is that the 19 mil Jubilee?
What's he trying to say?
Maybe he's saying, can you talk about the different Jubilees? Because they started out with the oval link Jubilee, and then they went to the semicircular Jubilee, which is the current one, and they had a few different iterations.
I got to tell you, look, with the, okay, £2, let's be very quick on this here. I remember the oysters were folded. They were folded steel. You remember the...
Yeah, that's right.
The,
you get a knife. You need to get a knife in between.
And they also had the rivet. Remember the rivet? They were hollowed. The rivet links. Remember the rivets? The rivet links?
Those are expensive now. Try to get yourself a rivet oyster.
Yeah.
Boy, that's crazy money.
Yeah. Also, those, I got to tell you, the interesting thing is, you know, Rolex used to be, it was like a pizza menu. You could order a Explorer 1, you could order it with a Jubilee bracelet or an oyster. You could order whatever you wanted.
Right.
You know, I think you could even get a sub on a Jubilee.
It was all, Rolex
well,
in those days was all
Daytona
modular.
came on it. Yeah,
it was
they were modular.
It was modular. It was, and you know what? I've even seen a solid gold GMT plastic, so 1675, with a President bracelet, and you could say, how do I know that President bracelet was for a 1675? You know how? It was for a holes case, because normally the President is a no holes case. It was a holes case President. So you think, fuck, it was actually a factory issued. You could order a solid gold sports watch with the presidential, because the presidential was a bracelet option. It was never a watch. It was a bracelet. You understand?
Yes.
So I got to tell you, the most shitty bracelets, I think, was the folded. The worst bracelet story I got is I bought this secondhand 1601 Datejust. And what they did is, because it had so much stretch in it, Grandma's undies stretch, they had pushed the gold bits in to sort of put this bracelet. It was a piece of shit. They were the most shitty faking bracelets I've ever seen. Absolute garbage. Zhao Ping, $3. Send your tithes to the Church of Plastic. Thank you so much there. But I got to tell you, tell me this, ABC, have you ever been depressed in your career, or you've had a good life?
I was depressed at one point in my late teens. I've been quite ill.
Okay.
But yeah, that was fairly short-lived. Yeah, it's just
I got to tell you, in all honesty, I actually met the Japanese wife. So I just refinanced the house and cleared that Amex bill. Still had 30 grand in card debt, because that was on top of the Amex bills. I had Visa and MasterCard, but they weren't pressing me at 3% a month, so I could just worry about it later. I met the Japanese wife, and that's when things really got better. It got better. The only thing is that after we had kids and that there, and
then it got worse.
But hopefully by throwing a bit of money into it, you can fix all your problems, guys. You can fix all these things. Tan Zeal, $5. For those that aren't aware, coming from an OG who's live streamed here and watched for a decade, the only person who runs this show is Paul Pluter. Thank you so much. The zeal. I do appreciate that there. I really do appreciate that. I got to tell you guys, seriously. See, Doc, you've always been a doc. See, a doctor is your...
Oh, no.
How old were you when you became a doctor?
30.
Well, that's still pretty young.
Another degree in America before you can study medicine.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty old.
30's not old. That's when you graduated or started?
I'm trying to remember, actually. That's how you know you're old also, when you have to stop and try to remember. I was in my early 30s.
That's pretty damn good, Doc.
Well, it's pretty good. But then I got sucked into, I had a really nice time at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided to commit to one woman.
That's a mistake, Doc.
Yeah, because it ended up sucking out some of my prime life, the prime time, your late 30s and early 40s. Boy, oh boy, if I could take those back and do it again.
Now this is a bit nasty. That's a bit nasty, Marco. I don't think that's really nice.
Is that really Marco? That's not really Marco.
No, that's a fake one. Look, Marco's a young guy. Don't be jealous. They're just jealous. You know that? They're jealous of his success. You know what? I wish him well. I don't mean anything bad to Marco. And same as Tim. Good on you guys. You guys are cool. I just feel I needed a bit of space. Okay? Let's be honest. Okay? I got no hard animosity to any of these guys. Marco's got the watch of his dreams. He's got the dream job. And
the only concern I had about Marco was that, and I'm not in that profession, so I don't say that I know for sure. But since it was brought up by Plastic once before, what my concern was is that, sometimes when you're applying for jobs or looking for jobs, they want to know, well, what have you been doing for the last few years? And I kind of was thinking about it. I was gonna text Marco, and I might still text him. that he should try to get it to where whatever the position he has with Nico's willing to say he was also doing finance with him.
Yeah, fair enough. That's
And then that way it covers him for if he wants to get a traditional job afterwards.
I got to tell you guys, seriously, it's very tough to be a man, you know, in this world here.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, ABC, I was actually very happy in my 40s. Then I didn't give a shit if I had the corner. I was so ambitious. In my 30s, I was disappointed a lot. But when I hit my 40s, that's when I started actually doing YouTube full time. I didn't give a shit anymore. I no longer cared about having the title or the job description. I didn't give a shit. And I got to tell you, I think one thing you must realize is I don't think material goods is the total answer. But if you have a really good watch, I remember I was getting fired once. And I had my 5107, you know, the Patek Calatrava. I was getting fired. And he says, are you in a hurry, Paul? I said, no, I'm just looking at my beautiful watch because I know you don't have one.
Ouch.
He's firing me. They'll get, you know.
Well, you knew he was firing you, I guess, I assume.
Yeah, well, he said, are you in a hurry to go somewhere, Paul? I said, no, I'm just looking at my watch. It calms me down. And I just know that, you know, it makes me feel special. That's what I said to him. And, you know, I got to tell you, it's being a man is you know, a lot of people, it's very hard to find your niche. What do you want to do in this world? What is your thing? There's so much pressure. We're like worker ants. You've got to be contributing to the colony. You've got to be contributing to the community. This community, you want to be a worker ant. And that's the thing with these watches is Tanzil, $5. I posted a video about Marco on my channel. Did Marco use ArchieLuxury for fame? Irix Guy's Adventure channel. Geez, I got to check that one out. We'll check that out.
I think that's being a bit harsh. I think that's being a bit...
He did a lot for me. I don't think it's... And
I don't think it's beyond repair either, to be honest.
No, he's going to come on a couple of days.
And his final message to you, the final super chat message to you, as only ABC would be able to do it, but it was first class.
Pure class.
Pure class.
Yeah, that was. He's not a bad dude, you know. Look, we'll see how these 3-hour streams go. I mean, it takes a bit of a toll on me. I don't know whether, you know. I mean, look, it's a big. The guest. That's why, if ever a guest comes on, he's got to go. He can go. That's okay. You know, I'm happy just to have you visit for a while. There's no problems. But Tanzil, $5. AC3. Let me ask you. Didn't a lot of people who streamed with you did a lot for you? The difference was they never asked for something in return. Facts. Yeah, I got to tell you, you know, I'm kind of look. There's some very loyal people to me. That's
Sucker horn.
This guy's getting a bit nasty. He wore a Pam before meeting you. Yeah, look, I did well too. Don't forget, I got my box. I got the box. Yeah. I got the box. Yeah. Don't ever forget that. I got the box. The box is... I'd never afford to buy that myself. NATO is a good guy. You know, he's often helped me out. I've seen the snakes come and go. Bring in the next lot, Arch. Slay them with thy sword. ABC's been around for... I mean, you were here with Clivers and that, weren't you?
That was towards the kind of end of their time with you, yeah.
Yeah. Man, I gotta tell you, man, that sub looks so cool on your wrist, man.
It does.
Oh, thank you.
You know what?
Does.
I gotta tell you, one of the regrets I have is selling my 14060. That's the no date sub 2 line. Watch, you could dress it up on the bracelet, or you could make it casual. I just loved it. It was a Holes case because they're normally, most of them are Holes cases. Yep. You really could dress it up or dress it down. I loved it so much. I played with that.
Oh, now he's put up his avatar. I was going to say, bring the sub up to the camera again.
I will in a bit.
The Pine Barren. Oh, sorry, we've got the Pine Barren. Arch, how does one find his true calling in life? You know what? That is a very good... Actually, I watched an Alan Watts video yesterday. Okay, I don't know if you know Alan Watts. Alan Watts was do you know Alan Watts, Doc?
I know the name.
He was a philosopher.
Sure
he talked about... He was very much a philosopher. And what he said is... He talks about money, and I thought he's a British guy. Unfortunately, he was an alcoholic as well, but that's another story.
Jordan Peterson talks about it.
Yeah. Okay. Look, Alan Watts. I loved Alan Watts. Alan Watts. He says what he says to people is, "What would you do if you had unlimited money? What is it you want to do? Say you had $1 million, 100,000, whatever nice. Money, what would you do?" Beautiful, ABC. And he says, nice. You know what? Take money out of it. Don't do things for money. What do you want to do? Do you like pets? Do you like dogs? If you want to train dogs, train dogs. If you want to sell watches, sell watches. If you want to find it, what is it you want to do? What is it? He said, then you become an expert in that field. That was his advice. He said, become an expert in what you like to do. So to find your calling, what is it you would do? Would you paint? Would you play guitar? What is it you would do if money was never an issue? Because if you do something solely to make money, you won't necessarily do well at it. This is what Alan Watts says. Just Google it or have a look on YouTube, Alan Watts and money and life meaning. And he's got some great... I don't know if he's got... Like, he couldn't solve it himself. He died of alcoholism. I mean, that's kind of sad way for a great man to go. But I enjoy his commentary. It kind of makes you think. The Pine Barren, $5. Arch... we did that one there. We did that one. Next one we've got is Pine Barren again. Well, no, we don't. What do we have here? Let me have a look.
Yeah, it is Pine Barren again.
Sorry. No, we've got GB, $2. Hope you're well. Can you get Craig Teal Jones back on? Yes, That would be great. That was who the studio was named after originally. I still have a plaque on the wall that Craig Teal Jones Studio. The Pine Barren, $5. I love Alan Watts and Ram Dass. I don't even know who Ram Dass is, to be honest with you, but yes, Alan Watts. Have a thought about that there. It is interesting.
I had a professor that would tell me, and I think it's true, that the key is to enjoy your life to the fullest with the things that make you happy will find you.
Ram Dass was an American spiritual teacher, an author widely known for his books. Be There Now has been described as seminal and helped popularize Eastern spirituality and yoga with the baby boomer generation. Interesting.
You know the 14060s, those have skyrocketed in value now.
You tell me about it, man.
It's gone up quite a bit recently in terms of subs.
What's that?
Nipple dials.
Oh, they're always.
Nipple dials have gone up. No. When a few years ago, when I think AC3 brought up the nipple dial as an option, they were pretty flat. And I got one of them for like $5,500.
And you also bought that purple dial from Cliver's, didn't you?
I bought the purple sub from Clive. Yes, I did.
You love that. You still got that, don't you? You don't sell anything.
Absolutely. Oh, I need to sell some Breitlings, but I haven't sold any of the Rolex. And
that needs the green bezel to match your avatar, Doc.
Well,
that would look so cool.
Paul didn't see that. AC3 didn't see that, but for April Fool's last year, a on eBay, I just bought a green bezel off of eBay for $20, and then I put it. I just laid it over the sub, so it was a purple dial with a green bezel. I just thought for April Fools, I was like, and they were giving me the business because I had the bezel swapped over to black.
I
thought it just looked nicer. And they were giving me the business, so I thought, for April Fools, I'll just make them think I went full crazy and got a green one.
I got to tell you what does piss me off is that what's happened now with Rolex. I had Scotty over my place one day because he had a 39mm Explorer 1 and he also had a Batman with the Oyster. Yeah. We tried to swap they're both 20mm end links. We tried to swap the bracelets over. They won't fit because, you know what I mean? You used to be able to interchange bracelets, right?
But now they've moved the holes in the case to a slightly different position.
Exactly. It's a real bitch. I don't understand. Well, I understand they don't want you to fuck around with the bracelets. Simple as that. They don't want you to move the bracelets right? There.
Because they make money by coming out with a model and just swapping over to a Jubilee.
Yeah, but you can't even get them. You can't even get them. You can't even get these things. I mean, with Pam, part of the fun, part of the success Pam had was because you could fuck around with the bracelets.
But now you can choose between Oyster and Jubilee, which means that the position for the GMTs must be the same now.
I don't think so.
Lee, $5. What's your take on NATO straps? I got to be honest with you. I quite like them. I like them. I love them. I like to put them on. I actually like the Speedy with a NATO on. And I actually loved the leather NATOs. I really liked.
I was about to bring up a Speedy on leather NATO. I had my Speedy like that for a while.
And I think they're kind of cool. The leather NATOs were cool.
I wanted to bring up the Speedmaster for ABC too, because
I think he should get one. I think that's a great, I reckon keep them all similar vintage. That's what I would say there. Keep them all similar
vintage. Bring up
a
first Amiga in space, and I think that's a nice option if you don't want to spend the money on a 321 reissue.
Here we go, Tanzil, $5. AC3, what went wrong with the universe when watch gurus were on here spruiking advice on Patek but never even owned one? Fike me dead. Yes. Yes, those were the days there. It's the thing is that disappoints me in this hobby. I got to tell you, what does disappoint me a lot is that a lot of people come on and they say, I was talking to Kelly, she gets all excited about an Aquanaut or a Nautilus. I think they were only excited about it. I remember them being in the dealer. I didn't think that I liked them. I didn't hate them, but I didn't think they were that great either. They get so excited over a Nautilus or an Aquanaut. You know what? They're kind of passé. I like.
Well, a Nautilus and an Aquanaut, though, does come closer to a boutique watch than, say, a Calatrava or Worldtime or any of the others.
Look at this tiny stacker, $50. Thanks for keeping us entertained all these years, Arch. Look at that. That's a beautiful super chat. I got to tell you, too many people.
Look at that avatar.
They like things. I look at the avatar. They like watches that are. They like watches that are popular. What do they really like? You know what I mean? I like people who like things that aren't popular.
Well, I mean, the reason I was saying it comes closer to a boutique type watch is, women kind of more gravitate to from the women I've known, they gravitate more to the flashier watches and the more boutique watches.
Yes.
And so it only makes sense because she's a woman. She's very much a woman. So I would expect her to gravitate to something like a Cartier or those because they're a little more boutique looking and a little flashier.
Guys, my headset battery's about to die now, so I'm just going to jump off.
No worries, man. That's so cool. Thank you so much, man. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on. Welcome.
Hang in there, man.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Likewise. Cheers.
Tan Zeal, thank you so much. Tan Zeal, $10. AC3, I've owned a Patek 5711 Blue Dial, an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15300. I have the experience to come on here and tell people whether I think it's worth it versus a Calatrava. Actually, I'd like to hear that from Tan. What would Tan say? What does he think? Because he also had the 5035. I think that was a amazing watch. They're starting to rise a bit. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And we got Humble Pie, $10. Really glad your friends and OG fans like Tan, BBW, and ABC are here to support you. Been watching for about 8 to 9 years, so feel like I should pay up. I do like Tim, though. Please don't flame me. No, he put an ad on the fridge. He's come back, and I'm going to do a show with him later on in the week. And Kesselwitz. One of the best live streams was Live with Clive. Wristwatch talk with a special guest, Don Haynes. A classic. Bring the good old boys. Yeah, I remember Don. Remember Donnie?
Donnie might come on.
Yeah, Donnie's very cool. I love Donnie.
If you got in touch with him, he might come on.
Yeah, he's a movement nerd. He really.
Yes, he is.
And
well, he's the godfather. He's the movement.
You got to respect him for being so into, the machinery in it. He's not just looking at the PR spin.
No.
He's I always laugh with Donnie. Me and him, we've made mistakes. I sold things I should never have. Same as Donnie. Remember, he got rid of that black GMT. He should have kept it. That was,
I think he got rid of it to get a
blank
pain. Yes.
The blank pain's actually not a bad watch.
No, but I think he wanted to sell that one.
Yeah, he became a bit disillusioned with things, and I can understand that. It's.
But he's been through a lot recently. He's been through a lot, and then
yes,
and some of his changing of watches probably had to do with having gone through such a lot.
Doc, when was your first Rolex? How old were you?
Oh, I don't think I got my first Rolex. I got to stop and think about it. But I think I wanted one when I was in school, like when I was in my 30s, right?
Yeah.
Because see, that's why you're bringing up the whole thing about just because you're in school and everything, that doesn't mean you're ready to go to work, So no. I don't think I got it until I was 40.
Ramsey, $5. Ever thought of starting a car show? Look, I don't mind talking cars. Actually, I'll tell you honestly, Marco hated the car.
Though. Well, look, the community prefers to stick with watches.
Yeah, I love cars. I still love cars. I've always been, to me, cars, watches, luxury goods have always been intertwined because it's a lifestyle experience. That's kind of what it is for me.
That's why I was bringing up that last gentleman's avatar, which was an old school avatar that typically would have car with the rear wheels like huge and a monster sitting at the driver's seat. And that was just a classic from the 70s.
ABC guys, don't be nasty with Marco. He's a good guy who's passionate and knowledgeable about watches. That's from ABC. We respect ABC. The Timepiece Fund, $5. Permanent happiness is a mirage. Rich and unhappy is better than miserable and poor. Gotta live the life. Live and let live. Back to watches. And Tanzil, $5. AC3, would you ever take buying advice on Porsche from someone who's never driven one, let alone drop their own money on one? No more fake gurus. Fair point.
Gotta admit, man, you have to drive a Porsche to appreciate a Porsche. I will say that, because for a long time I was an American car guy.
LC, $5. You know Tim is a thief when he even copies Nico's accent when he says God tier. He even says mate at the end. Funny guy, but Marco has no personality. Okay, we don't really want to go back. I don't want to dredge up things with them. I'm only doing it as a respect for your money. But
and you can't really say Marco has no personality. You may not like his personality.
Look,
but
he's only a young guy.
Guys.
Come on.
He's got personality.
Look, he has got personality. Doc, tell me this. To me, what happened to me was, okay, so my mother died, right? When I was
extremely traumatic. People don't appreciate that unless it's happening.
And I'm not looking at sympathy. I'm just saying my mother died when I was in grade 11. So I would have been 15, 16, right?
Yep.
And I thought to myself, you know what? I want to try the best things in life. I remember, just very quickly, I'll grab this super chat. Lee, $5. What watch do you prefer? Yellow Yachtmaster Rhodium or 41mm no date sub? I own the Yachtmaster and have never owned a sub. Let me tell you this, 41 no date any day of the week. I don't think the Yachtmaster's anywhere near as good as the sub. Anyhow, what I was trying to tell you was I remember a couple years before my mother died, I was in home economics and the teacher said the cheapest form of protein is liver. And I remember thinking she said, what is the cheapest form of, and the answer was liver. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what, what's the most expensive form of protein? Do we have to eat liver? And I wanted to try, rib filet mignon. I wanted to try the best, tastiest sources of protein, not pet food. I didn't want to eat pet food.
Or caviar.
And you know what? Not all expensive things are nice, but you know what?
You gotta try them at least once.
I wanted to try a nice car. Is a Mercedes or BMW better than a Ford or a Chevy? What's the best pen? Is a Mont Blanc better than a Bic? Is a Rolex better than a Timex? I wanted to try these things. Give it a shot. And I got to be honest with you, some luxury goods are a letdown. They're kind of hype and there's not much substance to them. But other things are genuinely higher grade and higher quality. Sydney.
My first Hugo Boss made it to me. It was like, oh, this is hugely big difference.
Hugo
nice
Boss,
suit.
what? Yes, nice.
Nice
They're
suit.
German tailored. Here we go. Verdare. How do I pronounce that, Doc?
I don't know because I can't see it.
Oh, okay.
It's
Verdeo.
not showing up in StreamYard. I'm only
That's
on
okay.
StreamYard.
That's okay. $5. Let's be serious, Pontiff. I love you, but you don't know anything. You don't know anything cars. What do you think about the new 992? Look, I had an E30. I had a Miata. I had an Alfa Romeo. I had a couple Hondas. I've looked after a Pagoda Benz. I've had a few good things, but I don't think.
I think what he's saying is that you haven't owned one. This is the issue he's having, I suspect.
I tell you, my problem is Porsches are so expensive in my car. 992 is absolutely amazing car.
Exactly. I mean, but in other words, you know more about the new Porsche than some people who own the new Porsche.
Yeah, possibly. I got to be honest with you. I love Porsche.
Yeah.
To me, as a kid, I got to tell you what happened with Porsche with me. Let me tell you my Porsche memories. Okay, so my dad was an accountant. He did tax returns and accounting work. And one of his clients, they had a little convenience store, right? Like a 7-Eleven, okay?
Yeah.
And that was Bob and Katie Carr. and what Katie did, Katie hired from Budget Rent-A-Car a Porsche for his 40th birthday. You could hire it for the weekend.
Well, that's a nice, interesting idea.
It was a 944. It was a champagne gold color. Or it might have been gunmetal grey. I can't, because it was dark. It was dark.
Both of those
Anyhow,
are nice.
What I remember is we went to their party, and she said, "Oh, you kids want to go for a drive in the Porsche?" And I remember this was I can't even remember, it was a 944 or a 944 turbo. I honestly can't remember. It was a 944. It had a bit of a spoiler, a little rubber spoiler at the back, but I can't remember it was turbo or non-turbo. This would have been...
Was it a flush nose in the front? Did the nose come down to the ground? Nice little splitter, nice little lip.
I can't remember. Can't remember the front because I hopped in through the back. I remember I walked. It was in her driveway. It was really sharp drive. And then what I remember is I sat in it, and I can remember what song was on the radio. Dire Straits, Kicks for Free. Money for nothing and your kicks for free. Nah, 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 nah. You know, that song has stuck.
Mark Knopfler.
Whenever I hear that song, I remember the Porsche. And I don't think she drove that fast, but it felt like a rocket ship.
Well, you know, the 944 saved Porsche. It was pre-boxer. I got
to be honest with you, I actually quite liked, people didn't like this, I liked the 924, which was the model before the 944. It wasn't as beefy. The 924, it came out in 78. I think it was 78 it came out.
Well, you know, the reality, though, the 924 wasn't considered a true Porsche.
I know, because it was made by Audi. It was actually a car they were trying to get Volkswagen to take, and Volkswagen didn't want it. You know that?
Porsche designed it for Volkswagen, but then Volkswagen ran into financial problems and decided not to purchase it after all, and sold it back to Porsche. So Porsche got paid to develop it by Volkswagen and then bought it back.
Yeah. Tanzil, $5. AC3, I'm going to see my friend's Ferrari F40 tomorrow. I'll text you some pictures. He owns a 930 Porsche slant nose, a DB6, that's an Aston Martin, a Ferrari Dino, etc. as well. Beautiful. Wow. You know what? Out of those pick, if I could have one, I tell you, I actually made a video and said I'd never been in a Ferrari. And a very kind fan of mine took me for a drive in his F8. It's a brand new model. Tributo. F8 Tributo. And I got to tell you something. It's like a rocket ship. It was absolutely... we weren't even driving that fast, but it was just like a rocket ship.
You don't need to drive that fast. You know, out of that list, the F40 is the most expensive, right? That's the one that's the most valuable out of that.
For me, list. You know what I'd like? I'd take the Ferrari Dino.
I was going to say, I'd take the Dino too.
So hopefully... Now, the problem is, he didn't mention which Dino we're talking about. Are we talking the 246, which was the V6 Dino, or are we talking the V8, the wedgie baritone? You know, the wedgie baritone Dino? Because they're both Dinos. And also, it's funny, Tanzil mentioned the 206. You know how the Dino, the Ferrari Dino is normally a 246, that's the number. They also had a 206, which was an Italian market because of the taxation on the CCs. So they had a 206. And apparently it's actually quite a enjoyable ride. Now, that V6 that is in the 246, that Ferrari V6, that's also what became very famous in the Lancia, the off-roading Lancia Stratos, the Lancia.
Oh, really?
That's the Dino V6. That's the same V6 engine.
They remade that. It's a wonderful car.
Well, that was a huge rally car. Sorry, rally car, not off-road rally car racing.
It was designed for that, but they even used it for racing. It is just a general overall race car that. The short wheelbase, people loved it.
Yeah, I mean it's Italian. They rust. I mean, as soon as the first rain comes, they dissolve like aspirins. But that's another story. I don't know.
And that's the reason that the remake of it is such a big deal. I mean, I don't know how many they made, but they're like
I don't know if you know
each.
this. I don't know if you know this, but in the 70s, the Soviet Union provided Italy with steel, and they swapped it for Fiat, the previous model Fiats. They swapped it for the research. You understand? So that's why the Ladas, the Russian-built Ladas, look like old Fiats, because they'd actually got that technology from the Italians. I don't know who got the worst deal. The Soviet steel, which rusted like shit, or the dodgy Italian engineering. I don't know who got the worst of the deal. And that's why so many of the 70s Italian cars are so rust prone, because the gauge of steel they used, the quality of the steel,
I see what you're saying.
wasn't the best. It wasn't German quality. Let's just say that.
Well, the Germans also they coated the steel too. They protected the steel.
Well, that was later on. Actually, the Germans actually, their steel wasn't as good as everyone thinks it is. They galvanized. Germans started galvanizing, right? But they also had
rust
issues.
Coatings on it even back then.
Yeah, the Mercedes, put it this way, the Mercedes Pagoda, okay, the rust proofing was pretty fucking average. Alfa Romeo I don't think they even painted the other side. That's how, in some of their Spiders, I think I don't know whether that's true or not.
That's the point. That's the point.
Legend is it, they were completely
rust buckets.
The Pine Barren, $5. Arch, I have a 928 GTS, and it's one of my favorite drives. See, the 928, now they came out
to replace the 911.
They were they came out late 70s. They had the pop-up headlights.
Yep.
And they were supposed, as you said there, they were supposed to, just quickly, Raymond Zhao, $2. Rain Forever, AC3. Thank you, Raymond, there. The 928, exactly right. That was supposed to, because it was a front-engined V8, rear-wheel drive, and a lot of the 928s were also automatic. Automatic, you know that, don't you?
Because it was supposed to be, yes, because it was supposed to be it wasn't supposed to be a racetrack car.
No, it was a Grand Tourer sort of thing.
Exactly,
you know?
It was just a tour, so that's why they came with automatics.
I loved them because if you remember, they came out in the 70s. I think 77 or 78 they came out, and they had the most beautiful arse, that rounded arse, the pop-up headlights. Yeah. They were bloody light years ahead of the 70s. You think about what the 70s had. This was revolution.
Well,
it was a V.
Part of the design is that
V8, and they were popular.
You could come out with that now, and people wouldn't say, "Oh, that's a 30-year-old car."
100%.
40-year-old car.
Ramsey, $5. You should talk cars with Tim Mosso. I don't know. Does Tim Mosso into cars? I think he could be. I don't know. Kelsowitz, $5. Patek 5960/01G. That's white gold. Versus 5172G. So that's the chronograph. Annual calendar chronograph, 50,000 used versus manual wind chrono for 70. Both are my grails. Which one to hold out for? A one and done Patek. I got to be honest with you. So basically, what he's asking is 5960. That's what JJ's got. That's a annual calendar chronograph. It's automatic. It's an automatic annual calendar chronograph. The 5172 is a manual wind 2-reg chronograph. Okay, so if you're asking me, which one do you go for? I got to be totally honest with you. I love them both. They are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Then I get to pick. And I picked the chronograph. I picked a 5172.
Well, they're both chronographs. The 5960 is a chronograph as well. It's an automatic chronograph as well as being an annual calendar. See, they are both chronographs. It's
well,
just
I guess
that
what I mean is that
you like.
I like the chronograph that's simply a chronograph, because otherwise it's a little too busy for me.
I would have to say, personally, I'd probably get a 5170.
Exactly.
Maybe a bit cheaper. The 5172 is also beautiful, but I'd get a 5170, a little bit cheaper, pre-owned. I think manual wind chronograph is just the epitome of class. That's just my opinion, and I'm old school. I'm old. I'm getting old, so that's my opinion. Tanzil, $5. AC3, would you take advice from someone who owned a GT3 RS or someone who Googled a few articles and pictures? No more false prophets. It's a fair point. I gotta say, he does raise a few good points there. He does raise a few. And Lee, $5. Would you own an IWC Big Pilot? With Marco out, you should consider reaching out to John Mayer to join your crew. I got to tell you, I actually love the IWC Big Pilot. I actually had in my possession one of the very old pilots. It was a Leico. It was a really big 50, almost 50 mil, I think, maybe, I can't remember the size, monster made of aluminum. It was a pilot's watch from the Luftwaffe. It was a Leico because the German army commissioned a couple of makers, Lange, IWC, Leico. There's a few people who made these things. And I got to say, the IWC the Leico now has become a nothing brand, okay? But the IWC Big Pilot, I think they're expensive. I think they're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Pine Barren, $5. Arch, Tim Mosso is a huge car guy. That would be an amazing collab. See if you can set it up. It's not quite as easy. There's different egos, and I'm not good at kissing ass.
But I tell you one thing, Tim Mosso watches your channel.
You reckon?
Absolutely.
He's like a superstar. I love Tim Mosso. He's a really cool guy. I can't believe that. I'm a nobody. Tim Mosso is...
Ask Tanzil.
Okay.
That's all I'll say, because Tanzil super chatted him one time. He didn't even go, oh, what are you talking about?
I was trying to get his autograph. He never sent me his autograph. I was going to hang it on the wall, you know?
Oh, I remember that part too. But he knew exactly what he's talking about. He didn't have to go, oh, what is that reference? Who's AC3? What is that? No, he knew exactly what it was. He knew exactly what it was.
I got to tell you, Doc, for me, what I'd like to do now, as far as Porsche goes, let me say this to you. I was never a fan of the 914. You know the 914? That was the first.
Those were even
mid-engine.
924.
They were mid-engine. They were the first mid-engine. And it depends on the engine. You could get it with the 6-cylinder engine in it. You know that?
Well, now that's expensive. Now you're talking that one is
haven't
expensive.
finished. SP, $2. Speaking of pilots, what is the best value pilot watch? See,
well,
I got to be honest with you. That's an oxymoron. To be honest with you, I think the best value pilot watch at the moment would be the Breguet Type 20. But what pilot watch would I really, really like to have? It would be an IWC Big Pilot.
I thought he was suggesting even going what you would call a shitter, because Longines has a pilot too.
Yeah, they've got the Lindberghs, you mean? The Lindberghs? I got a friend of mine who collects... Well, we used to be friends.
I don't mean the original pilots, because those are expensive.
Yeah, they're hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking that. They've got some lesser ones. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got to tell you, if I would actually really like to have a 924. That's what I would like.
You should be able to get that. 924s are cheaper than 944s.
I know. The whole car market's gone crazy. I would like just an original one. Nothing. I don't want speed or turbos or shit. I just want I actually would like just an original. I want to find one like a German guy owned one. He had it for like 30, 40 years. What's that? It'd be 70s. How long would that be? 70s. So say you got it in 1980. That'd be 40 years old. So he'd be, if he got it when he was 40, he'd be 80. There we go. Or some German guy who's 80 years old and wants to, that's what I'd like. I'd like to get a 924. Just look after it. Don't treat it like shit. Just love it for being a Porsche.
Well, I've got I had a 944 and it didn't rust at all. So you should be able to find one in decent shape.
Yeah. I quite like the 924s. I'm the victim, $2. Mean comments about me will no longer be deleted. And we've got the Pine Barren, $5. Arch, I just picked up a 968. That's the ultimate 944.
That's the one I have.
The 968. They are sleepers, climbing in value. Thoughts on the 968? I got to tell you, I remember in the 80s, 90s, I was trying to get a test. Look, what I did was I bought a BMW when I was 19, and I wanted to learn how to sell. So I actually went to all the luxury car dealers as a test drive to see how could they sell it to me, because I had the BMW. Normally, if you turn up as a 19-year-old, they tell you to get fiked. But if you turn up in a BMW, the Porsche dealer wouldn't let me in, but okay, he kind of knew I couldn't afford it, but Audi, I test drive Audi. I remember test driving an Audi 80, Audi 90, and the 80. I test drove Saab. I test drove Mercedes-Benz numerous times. I test drove so many things. Okay, here we go. Pine Barren, we've done that one there.
Well, we didn't finish it, though, for him. Because
the 968 is an amazing car. Thoughts on it? It's amazing. It's
They only came out for about 3 years because the economy changed up.
They were four cylinders. They were 4 cylinders.
Yeah, but it was the largest 4-cylinder available.
Yes. Yeah. And that they were 2 point. What's the displacement? They're just 2.4.
I forget the displacement, but the horsepower is over 200.
There you go. And Timepiece Fun, $2. Talking about IWC, your thoughts on the IW395503? I don't even know what the hell that is there. An IWC, IW3, let's get this number right. 395503, 395503, da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Let's have a quick look. Oh, I hate it. I don't like that. You really like that? I'm not. I don't like it. I've seen these before, but I never really. It's kind of an acquired taste, kind of a time zone type of thing there. Yeah, not really my cup of tea, but yeah, IWC's got a few weird things there. Tanzeel, $5. Drop the link for Zany Poo. We're just about to wrap up. We're wrapping up. We are wrapping up. We're wrapping up.
Maybe he can come on tomorrow.
Yeah, he can come on tomorrow. I'm about to wrap up there. Guys, I want to thank you for coming on. Thank you so much, Doc, for coming on.
You betcha.
I liked a bit of car talk in there because I don't know about you. Can you remember in the 80s, Porsche and IWC, Porsche design was huge. They designed a whole stack of IWC watches. Do you remember that?
I think so, because they had even one that was a race chronograph.
Yeah, so Porsche Design actually did a whole stack of work for IWC.
Yeah.
And I got to say, cars and watches have always been hand in hand. You know what I mean? I love them. I love them.
It's like Bentley with the Breitlings.
Well, but I met a few people who own Bentleys. Not one of them has a bloody Breitling.
Well,
okay.
No, but I mean,
I got to tell you that. They still
try.
It's kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? The Pine Barren, $5. The Porsche 968 has a 4-cylinder, had a larger displacement than the V8 Ferrari F40. Fun fact.
I was about to mention that it was a larger displacement as a 4-cylinder than the V8 Ferrari. I didn't know it was the F40 Ferrari, but I knew Ferrari had a V8 that was smaller.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Very, very interesting.
And of course, less horsepower as well. Of course.
Honda played with V12s. They had a motorbike engine that was 500 cc's, but a V12 at one stage.
For a bike?
Yeah.
That's a little.
I believe so. Kurt A, $2. The other $18 went to Tim. Tim Wright.arch. There we go, guys. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been a 3-hour show. It's been a great show. It's been fun. We've had a great talk. We had great. This is what I'm trying to do, is bring out the best. I want to know the story. We had a great time talking car. I love cars. I do. I think cars design. I'm interested in design, okay? And I think cars and watches are a pinnacle of design excellence.
You know who maybe you should try to get on your show?
Who's
since
that?
You're mentioning design.
Who's that?
ID guy.
ID guy. Yeah, he's pretty. He's a bit too. He's a bit too slick and smooth for me, but you know, I'm a bit.
No, he's. I think he's down to earth, but he is smooth. I'm not saying he's not.
He's a lovely. I love his accent. He's got that South African.
But the thing is that
accent.
Some of his later videos, he'll put the at the end some of the unedited stuff he had to cut out, and he works to make them smooth. He's just a regular guy that I think he's a hardworking engineer type.
Guys, we're wrapping up. Come back tomorrow. See you later. Take care and see you tomorrow, guys.
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and upvote, upvote, upvote.